It is Friday, Valentine's weekend, so that nifty little tie-in with the song Friday, I'm in Love. It's the Bennington Show. 844-ROCK-GOD. 844-ROCK-GOD is the phone number. Hashtag Bennington for the Twitter tweets. And, of course, the city is in buzz right now because Gail Ann has some exciting news.
Well, I have to just say that of all the incredible year that I've had, this could be perhaps the biggest accomplishment of, I think, my career thus far. There is now a sandwich at Mayhem and Stout named the Gail Ann.
Whoa! Yeah! The Gail Ann.
The Gail Ann. I am so excited. I freaked out when I saw this tweet that Mayhem and Stout tweeted to me and said that they would love to name this sandwich after me. And it sounds like a phenomenal sandwich.
Well, here it is. It's braised pulled pork with short rib, chili, and cheese sauce. The Gail Ann.
Okay, so we've got pulled pork, which I love.
Yes, who doesn't?
Chili, which I explained yesterday.
Yes.
Big fan. Homemade cheese sauce? What? Are you kidding me?
I didn't even realize that the cheese sauce was homemade. Wow.
It's very exciting. It is incredibly exciting.
Plus, it's a great place.
Oh, yeah. To have a New York sandwich named after you, one, and then two, for it to be a great place, and three, to be a great sandwich.
I like all. Sandwich.
Like, if that was not called the Gail Ann, I would order that sandwich.
Oh, yeah. That's when I'd go like, "Oh, tell me a little bit about this sandwich." All right, Mayhem and Stout. And look, they've got it right there. Your name's up in chalk, which is pretty amazing.
I've made it.
Yeah. And they're even doing the weird N stuff that you do.
Triple A, double N?
Yeah, well, you know what? They want triple A, single N.
That's okay. It's close enough.
It is close enough. So we'll retweet that, I guess, is what we got to do so people can see it. But there you have it. Your own New York City sandwich named after you. Comes in at a very respectable 11.02.
I think there's something tells me there's quantity there. So.
Oh, yeah.
Just how I like it.
Well, that is exciting stuff. We'll all have to go for lunch soon.
I really like that there's not a damn thing feminine about this sandwich.
No, not even slightly.
This is not a ladies' sandwich.
No, it's not something that the gals would order.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah. You've got stick them to your ribs.
That's a great winter sandwich.
That's a great winter sandwich.
You're going to feel good after that winter sandwich. Considering the cold out there, I would love to be eating.
I tried to figure out what was going on with the weather, and the news, the weather girl started crying, and she said she just looked in, like she started to do the weather, and then she started crying, and she got her face up in the camera, and she said, "Mommy, I love you so much."
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
There's nothing we could do.
We got 5 years. The Gail Ann. Exciting.
Isn't that exciting?
It is. It's unbelievable.
Man.
That's the best thing I've ever heard of in my life. You should be able to go down there and like put your fingers in, I don't know, horseradish or something. Just stamp it through. So now when people come to New York City, and they're always, because I get emails all the time from people, where do I go to eat? By the way, there was actually a very nice couple thanking me for that, at the My Wife Hates Me, bringing them all the different places that I brought up to them. I was filled with pride, not the kind of pride I feel today. Now that the Gail Ann is, well, that's all it takes, Gail. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's it.
Got hit by a bus now, okay?
It would be my legacy.
Yeah, that is your legacy.
This sandwich lives on.
It does.
Man, it sounds really good, too.
You know how many, famous foods have come out of New York City that people, because some chef at a hotel restaurant came up with? I mean, there's just tons of them. And who knows? Maybe the Gail Ann will be one of those that, years from now. Somewhere, I guess, into Hillary Clinton's third term, people will forget. Hey, where did the Gail Ann first start? And then they'll Google it.
Yeah,
they'll be living on Mars then.
I'm like the next Monte Cristo.
Thank you.
That's me.
I thought Monty Hall should have gotten a nice sandwich named after himself called the Come On Down. By the way, I did watch a little bit of the debate last night, mainly screeching and girdling. And the thing that amazes me, that if I was a little kid and there was a sci-fi movie there about the future, and we were told that there was a woman president, which would have been amazing to us, she would be dressed just like Hillary Clinton in her futuristic outfit. I mean, that is like stone. It's sci-fi. She dresses in a crazy, fun sci-fi way.
She has picked a look, and she has really stuck with it throughout this campaign. It's very strange. I believe it was Kathleen Madigan, when she was on the show, was saying it's like the Mandarin collar, but then you're also adding like futuristic elements.
Yeah,
it's a Mandarin collar, but the color is so strange.
Yeah, the look hasn't existed before, and here's the weird thing about it. You're like, oh, just because you're a woman, you're talking about her clothes. I guarantee you that they've thought about this look as much as her foreign policy. They realize she's not young and sassy, so what is she going to go for? Do you want to be refined? Or do you want to be future fucking risk? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the woman who's going to come out and tell us that a new species has landed on our planet, and we're going to try to work it out with them before they enslave us.
It almost seems like you can't even comment on what I'm wearing because y'all never even seen some shit like this before. So you can't even...
There's nothing you can say about it. You're exactly right, other than sci-fi. It's like, if you feel like you do make fun of it, you're one of those people that's afraid of the fucking future.
And I don't want to be one of those people.
Look, I'm going to tell you this. I don't understand anything about that discovery that proved Einstein right, and I've read it like fucking 4 times. Something happened with the gravity waves that we can now hear them, and we know. I still don't understand what's so fucking important about it.
I had the same experience. I was reading it and feeling excited about it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that you're excited, but I still could not understand exactly what was going on.
I talked to a friend of mine, and when he said, I don't really get it, I go like this. Ah, thank you. I don't get it. I mean, I'm excited as all the scientists are, because I'm supposed to be.
And I'm the science nerd of the show. You know me.
You're tech savvy.
You know, that's me.
But I don't know if physics is your place.
No.
You know?
But I'm willing to learn.
I don't know. I think it's too late to learn. There's sounds going on in the universe. Look, you got to learn one thing right now, and that's making that sandwich rock.
That's all I'm thinking about today. It's all about the Gail Ann.
Wow. That's amazing, dude. Hey, here's Charlie. Charlie, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie B. and the Benningtons. How are you?
Cool, man.
Listen, Ronnie, very respectfully, I'm going down and I'm going to heat you up some Gail Ann, all right?
Do me a favor. Give me a review after you enjoy that.
You got it.
Please. I'm very excited to hear.
Dave says this. What are the odds that Gail Ann would have a manly sandwich and Ronnie B would have a feminine cupcake? It's kind of interesting when you think about it. I have a very dainty, delicious cupcake.
But together, it's a full meal.
Oh, yeah, it is a full meal.
That sounds fantastic.
Fucking Uber across town. But it's a full meal. All right, this just got in. Commander Clinton, who is the new empress of our planet. Here's the Einstein waves. She fucking can hear it through her robot brain. So the future's here, folks. A lot of people retweeting your sandwich, the Gail Ann.
Good.
Tell
get
people
the word
again
out there.
where it's at, where you can get it.
It is at Mayhem and Stout. They have 2 locations. I think one is 711 2nd Avenue and 230 Park Avenue.
Wow, sweet.
Yeah. Very sweet. Sweet as pulled pork. And homemade cheese sauce.
Wow. All right, Psycho Bob understands the Einstein stuff.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing today?
Hey, good.
Hey, this discovery by Einstein, it proves the existence of smoke pants. That's what it does.
Wow. So after all these years, I may get my Nobel Prize.
You got it.
Did I just call it a Nobel Prize instead
Well, it
of...
was a noble deed when you came up with the smoke pants.
Hey, thanks for the Nobel, everybody. Appreciate it.
Can we retract that? He doesn't even know the name of the prize.
Here's Jeff in Maryland.
Hey, love the show. Not called in before, but I can explain what it means.
Thank you. Let's hear it.
Okay, so Einstein predicted that if you had a big enough disturbance in space, it would send off gravitational waves that rippled through space. So it's not like visible light, right? So if you have visible light, that can get blocked by dust. It can get deflected. There are all sorts of things that it can run into, so we can't see it on Earth. But if you've got a gravitational wave, that can go through anything. It goes through atoms. It goes through. It's basically.
Now, what would create that gravitational wave? You said something big. What's big?
The one they detected was two black holes colliding together 1.3 billion years ago.
All right, so these waves, let's think of it this way. It's almost like ripples through a pond where you don't know. If you studied the ripples going through a pond, you'd be able to detect how big something hit the pond.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it was a brick or a stone or whatever.
Yeah, so we have a limited ability to look through dust clouds in space by using radio waves.
Yeah.
Because those waves are big enough to that they don't get interfered with by the dust cloud.
Mm-hmm.
But it's limited. You can only see so much. Gravitational waves, theoretically, if we've now theoretically proven they exist, we can now start working on systems that would actually depict events in the universe so that we could actually, visually represent them.
All right, I'm willing to say this, Jeff. This is not such a big deal. I mean, it doesn't seem that important to us.
What's so?
Big deal. 1 billion years ago, two black stars hit each other.
Oh, big fucking deal.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it matters, Not when Kanye is fucking dropping an album and fighting with people and then had that weird thing take place at Madison Square Garden, which, by the way, was the same as the Einstein wave thing. I had no idea what went on there.
Yeah, I was
why
reading
those
about
stars
it.
Were standing.
It was like it's a fashion show. It's an album release. He's got it's video game trailer party thing.
Yeah, and he was for some reason sitting in the stands. I do have a Kanye expert, and that's Joey Jojo. Joey, what's the story on this?
Okay, so Kanye had his album release Weird Thing at MSG yesterday.
Right. Instead of doing a show, he threw more of a party. Now, I understand that these interesting tribal futuristic people were all invited from all over the world.
Yeah, and that's also, they're wearing his fashion line, his new...
All right, but what about the people in the audience?
They're invited from all over. And then also, these models were just a cattle call of models to stand at MSG. So it was kind of like a party, and no one really knew what it was, and they streamed the entire thing for like 4 hours. It was really weird. No one knew what was going on. Now,
the people who were there, did they pay to get in?
They did pay. They did pay to get in. Yeah.
Then how did they get tickets? Since this thing didn't seem like
he promoted tickets for this release, so people bought tickets to listen to the album for the first time, which drops today. The Life of Pablo. But in it, he started some shit.
Why? What are you talking about?
Okay, so one of his songs on the new record called "Famous," he called out Taylor Swift and said that. He said, I feel like me and Taylor Swift could still have a chance to have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. Reviving this beef between her and Kanye.
Now, there is a Vine, I guess, up on the iBang of Taylor Swift's brother throwing his Yeezy sneakers into the trash can.
No.
Yeah. Austin.
God, no.
Yeah. Austin Swift.
And those
he got him.
Yeah, he got him back. It's actually pretty cute. Anybody know what he's whistling? What is that?
I've never known the name. What is it from? It's like an old TV show?
None of you guys watch movies. That's from the Bridge Over the River.
Oh.
Why? Bridge Over the River. Why? Sorry, James. That's the SS Minnow.
SS Minnow.
All right, so that's the whole big deal.
Yeah, but apparently this morning, Connie came out and also tweeted, no, I talked to her for an hour about this line and this lyric. She thought it was funny and gave me the go-ahead. And Taylor Swift
First of all,
people.
you just called him Connie.
Connie.
Now, does anyone over the age of 8 care about this besides you?
I don't
is
think
Kanye
so.
and Taylor's fucking beef still important?
I think everyone 8 through 13 is losing their shit right now.
Someone wrote online that why he said that he made her famous, that the true story is Taylor's worst selling album sold more than Kanye's best selling album.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, when he made her famous, she was also receiving an award. It's not like he brought her out of... Anyway, she was receiving an award, and that's where that whole thing mattered.
You got something better than an award. You got a New York City sandwich, the
You're
Gail
right.
Ann, named after you. Do you understand that, even for a second?
You know what? It's like it's hard for it to sink in for me because it's such a thrill. And I never thought it was going to happen. I never thought I was going to have such an honor.
Of course. That's amazing.
And Mayhem and Stout made it happen.
Ben, you're on the Bennington Show.
All right. So I'm going to tell you what's so important about that Einstein thing is that a century ago, Einstein said we'd be able to hear it, and now we did. And considering that was a century ago, it's so amazing that we can now hear it, and he was right again.
Yeah, Ben, but it's not like he made it happen. You know what I mean? I mean, I would see, like, if he would have smacked something 100 years ago, and then we heard it, I'd be like, that's great.
Well, yeah, like, he didn't make it happen.
Thank you.
It did happen. He told us we would be able to hear it, and we can hear it.
Ben's got a point there. He did predict that it was true, and it was.
But he had nothing to do with it. He did as much with that as I did. I should be getting just as much credit. And Ben, do you know the difference between us today and Einstein? It's a nice, fine conditioner for our hair.
You don't get it.
I wouldn't have let... If I was his mom, I'd say, Einstein, you're not leaving the house in that hair.
Run a comb through that thing.
Oh, it's going to need a brush.
Well, you know, I bet Robin would be very upset with you.
All right, this is Gail's cousin Ben, and Ben, did you hear about Gail has a sandwich named after her now?
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, I did hear about that. Where did they name that?
Well, it's a sandwich in New York, and it's a place called Mayhem and Stout, and it's a delicious sandwich, pulled pork, chili, homemade cheese sauce, and it's called the Gail Ann.
I would try it. I would too. But if we ever get back up there again, I want to go there and try it.
Yes.
But here's the deal. Einstein predicted this sandwich 100 years ago. Now, he was wrong about one thing. He said Swiss cheese, not cheese sauce.
Okay, so it's not that good.
Yeah, so close, but not good enough. Who you with today, Ben?
Just Mom and Ange. Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Ange. Sweeties.
Little sweetie.
Well, thanks for teaching us about that, Ben. We appreciate it.
All right.
Bye, Ben.
And call in anytime.
I had to correct you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's very helpful to have your science corrections. But call in anytime, all right, buddy?
All right. You can thank Auntie for helping me with that.
Okay, so there's more than just one person. All right, good.
Thanks, Ange, as well.
Yeah, bye.
All right.
Are we calling her Ange and not Sweetie anymore?
I think
She's
perhaps
growing out of Sweeties?
Maybe she's growing out of Sweetie.
I wish she would have spent some time with Sweetums.
That's her full name, her full first name.
The other night they were missing and feared abducted as they were with their aunt.
That is true.
Yeah.
A drama that I missed entirely.
Yeah.
7 minutes of drama.
Yeah.
But I luckily got the ending
Oh, it
spoiled
felt like it
for
was
me.
longer than 7 minutes.
Well, 7 minutes from when I was texted.
Oh, yeah,
so I was last minute texted.
Yeah.
Like one of those texts where it's, hey, just checking in to see if.
They're with you.
No.
Gail, can you imagine taking your family to that place and getting a nice Galen sandwich?
I cannot. It would be the biggest thrill.
Here is Maureen in New York.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
I just wanted to see if you had watched Baskets last night. It was heavy Louis Anderson, and it was great.
Dude, first of all, I'm glad that you love that, but it was the most amazing episode. And I was perfectly ready to feel like, okay, Baskets is, this show is so damn good. And Louis Anderson last night as the mom was unbelievable.
It was the most phenomenal performance. The subtlety that he does when playing this character, it really makes you feel like a woman that you know. Like it's something so familiar.
Well,
and it's done with such kindness and gentleness. Like it's not just like a nagging mom or an over-the-top impression of what a woman sounds. It's so eerie how much you lose him in that character.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. And it's so damn funny.
Well, I watched it with my daughters, and my oldest said, are we secretly being filmed? Because I just had an Ash Wednesday battle with my daughter, and we have to go to church, and let's go. And I'm never happy with her outfits, and I have to go in. And,
darling, you're being compared with Louis Anderson.
I know. But I feel like he's really captured a mom, a woman.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so, that's a little uncomfortable. And I do like to, feed my sadness sometimes, and it was so sad at the end that,
Oh, my God, it was heartbreaking. But you also see generations of, this repeating heartbreak, you know?
Yeah, it was great. It had that feel like being a Louis C.K. production. I had with the episode that he did when I think it was called In the Woods, where he was a kid.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Weed. I actually cried at the end of that episode, and I felt the same with this one. It was like it was so real.
There's a piece up on the iBang. I think it's called Louis Anderson is the best thing on TV right now.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely the truth. He's just amazing in it.
Yeah, it's crazy how good. And I was unsure, like when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, this could go either way. It's been phenomenal.
I knew from the first episode it was perfect. All right, thanks, Maureen. Good to talk to you again, darling.
You too, honey. Bye.
Hey, did you feel like Ben tried to show us up a little bit on science knowledge?
A little bit, and he knows that my thing is science geek of the show.
I don't know if that's true now.
Well,
I don't think you know a lot about science.
Yeah, but you remember that time that I said meteorite, and I knew what a meteorite was versus meteor.
Yeah, but you're also a girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And science isn't girls' thing. Baking you're good at, and I guess that's a kind of a science.
Cleaning.
You know?
Mm-hmm. True, it's chemistry.
Plus, you know what else you could be if you really wanted to is science secretary. They always need someone there to type up stuff or
theories and whatnot.
Make them one of your famous Gail Ann sandwiches.
Okay, I will do that.
They get hungry.
Unrelated to being a female.
Seeing Sweetie just moving on to Ange like that makes me feel like one day we'll just be calling Joey Joseph.
What?
I do. That's my little nickname for him.
Is it?
Yeah, nobody knows that.
I call him Broseph. Starting tomorrow.
Love it.
Yeah, sure. It's great. Your friend Janice from Chicago wants to say something nice to you.
Hello, Bennington.
Hi, Janice.
Gail Ann, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It is a pretty big deal. I am pretty thrilled with this whole thing.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you feel like I've peaked? Now that I have a sandwich, have I peaked?
Who was just telling us about their peak not too long ago, and everything else is riding it back down? Oh, T.J. Miller at 2:00 today. Peaked early on, like Gail Ann in his career, and he's enjoying the ride down.
Yeah.
You got a sandwich, a cupcake.
Yeah.
So cool for the Bennington family.
You know what? You know how Einstein died too? This never even comes up.
How?
Bullies. A bunch of bullies just beat him up.
Oh my!
To death?
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's how you die. It's to death, Chris. Talk about who doesn't know their science.
Oh my God!
I'm sure Ben will give us another call on that.
Everyone dies to death, Chris.
Shit.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher.
I have to admit today, Chris, I turned off your scope.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I don't know if it had to do with cold or repetition, but I just said, all right, I'll just say I'm at work.
Then you missed me.
I never made it to you. No.
It was ice cold out there today.
And tomorrow is going to be 30 degrees colder.
Then I'm not leaving this building. I'm just staying here.
Why don't you go home tonight? But still acceptable.
From the weekend.
By the way, this is what Janice's house feels like in July. That's how people from Chicago are not moved by this cold. That's the most brutal city ever, Chicago.
It's so cold. The Windy City, they call it.
You know that a bunch of Eskimos, there was like 7 of them came down. And by the way, that's called a pod when they get together like that. It's a pod of Eskimos.
I didn't know that.
And they were in Chicago, and it was so cold that all 7 shit themselves.
Oh my God! I'm not used to that stuff.
I don't know. Are they? Is Alaska cold?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if I
like
wanna know,
really cold.
Hey, if I want to know the answer, I'll ask you. But yeah, they all shit themselves. The shit froze and made the news. All right, Janice.
I love you.
All right. Talk to you later, darling. We should send her a sandwich in the mail.
Please, can we?
Yeah.
One of those nice little insulated boxes.
We'll overnight it.
Hey, Dave, San Francisco. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie, I was thinking about that whistle you were doing. Was that from the River Kwai, bridge over the River Kwai?
It was. Now,
I'm sorry, the laser thing with the science thing, you got, Einstein he didn't predict it. He just proved that it was there the whole time. They sent out a laser. It just proves how sensitive our equipment is now. They sent out a laser, and it picked up that sound. That sound that they picked up was like a ripple the size of your thumb going across the universe. That's how sensitive our shit is.
well, yeah, I mean, we should brag about our technology, but he was able to know that the sound was there without being able to hear it.
Yeah,
You know, that's like Kreshkin.
He did it all with math. That's amazing.
With magic.
Okay.
He did it with, as he called, Jewish brain magic.
That helped. Brain magic. He was so smart it made his hair rise. Okay, Ronnie, have a nice day.
All right, peace.
Congratulations, Sarah Gail.
Thank you so much.
We're all so excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You would have think that Ben would have brought that up before he just tried to rub our face in his science knowledge.
You know, he was so focused on his point. I feel like he was blinded by it.
Blinded by the light, I think Bruce Springsteen put it best from his early years. I'll tell you one thing. If I ever met Einstein, I'd punch him right in the fucking throat.
Why? What did he ever do to you?
How is he smart if he couldn't block a fucking punch? I love waving to people when they're on the tour.
Yeah.
Because then they're acting like, did they think we're going to do something?
Come in.
Come in. It's science talk. Is that you, Joe?
Yeah, that was me.
Why are you so sad about it?
I like to join in and whistle.
You're allowed to
particularly.
whistle.
Well, none of us were whistling. We'd
That's
taken it
how
to
he
humming.
That's how he expresses himself.
Right.
Through whistles.
I
Clicks and
understand.
whistles.
I thought he had a pan flute over there. Lots of stuff up on the iBank today. The new Paul F. Tompkins show that he's doing, fourth season, where he does a new show with puppets. It's fucking hilarious. The new Dice trailer is out and looks great.
It does look good.
The new Will Arnett show trailer is out. As always, that's great. But we're also going to be doing something for a Valentine piece in just a little bit with our own Kashmir. And that's him kind of playing Cupid, comedians that should be dating.
And I would listen to him.
Well, you're going to have to.
No, I'm saying I would heed his advice.
If he told you should be dating someone, what if he said this to you? You should be dating Hitler.
I would ask for a couple reasons to back it up, but I would take it seriously.
I don't see the difference between Hitler and Einstein. And I'm being totally honest there.
You really have it out for Einstein.
I don't. I'm just calling it as I see him. He did not make the gravity noise. I'm sorry, I'm using scientific terms. The gravity noise.
I didn't understand it. Now I know why.
That's one thing I did shut Ben down when I said he didn't make that noise.
Yeah, he had no retort for that.
Yeah, because it's true. Bob in Chicago.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I've never wanted pulled pork more in my life than right now.
It's delicious. It's
so
delicious.
good.
I wanted to tell you that Taylor Swift's brother was most likely whistling that song because it was in Breakfast Club than Bridge Over the River Kwai.
You know, we don't know his movie knowledge. I didn't even know she had a brother, T. Swift.
Yeah.
I know nothing about her other than she sings, and then she has a squad.
Well, she also, I would assume, was born in 1989, right? That's her album. I was guessing that's why she named it.
I don't know why. I think she's younger. I think she's a lot younger than that. I think she was born in like 2001.
So why did she name it that?
I don't know. She likes the 80s. She thought that was cool. But I'll tell you this. If I ever said to my mom, somebody said something about my sister, and I got so mad I threw my sneakers out, my mom would just start bashing me. You don't throw away your own clothing because you're mad at somebody. Let's go to CJ, California. CJ.
Yeah, I received a actual real Blue Apron in my Blue Apron package a couple of weeks ago.
Did you got one of those, Gail?
Yes, I did get one of those.
Well, how come you never told us?
But I'm qualified.
I did a long time ago. Before,
you did?
Yeah, before.
Because I remember I told you I got my Blue Apron. Your friend.
Oh, you got mine first. You got yours first, it took.
I like that you said you got mine first.
They actually took it back and realized it was for me. It's quite an honor.
That just means I'm able to take that Gail sandwich and make it here on the West Coast, since we won't be able to get it to New York anytime soon. So we're going to go ahead and.
Well, here's the thing, CJ. You're going to have to contact the people who invented this sandwich.
Yes, that is Mayhem and Stout.
With my Blue Apron. With the Blue Apron, you have the green light. The Blue Apron, from what I understand, gives you carte blanche, man.
I don't know how that works. And do that. Well,
that's what I read in the little letter.
Yeah.
For an executive. But we'll be doing a Gail and over here on the West Coast for this weekend, and too bad it's not 5 degrees. It's going to be 90, but we'll probably add some guacamole to it or some avocado.
You know what?
Make it yours, I guess.
But then again, we also have water, so everybody gets some. We're all
good.
We're all doing good. Okay.
And I just waste it so freely because we just have so much.
Jason in Wisconsin.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, just wondering if shipping and handling would be worth that sandwich. Can I have it shipped to Wisconsin? Number one, is it safe to eat after that?
All right.
Is it worth the extra cost?
Again, you're the second caller. You're calling the wrong place. We don't make and ship sandwiches here.
This is not Mayhem and Stout.
Mayhem and Stout.
You've reached Bennington.
Yeah.
Now, yes, did Mayhem and Stout name a sandwich after me? Yes, it's an honor. But I am not privy to their shipping methods.
So you weren't employed at the time that this happened?
No, I'm actually not an employee.
Okay, so you're still at Raw Dog. Okay, good.
But here's what I love: the idea that we take this on Shark Tank and, start seeing if we can't take this national.
Send a sandwich?
Yeah. So tell me, sharks, are you ready to bite down into some pulled pork and profits?
Is it chilly in here, or is it just me, sharks?
Well, thank you, black guy, even though you dropped out right away without even giving me a chance to explain myself.
I don't even know why he even pretends. He's always the first one to be like, I don't understand this product, and I'm out. Yes.
This is what he does. Look, it looks like you have a good product, and you're a very interesting and driven person, but I don't do business with white people, therefore I'm out. What don't you understand by for us, by us?
Good point.
Yeah. By the way, we used to buy us, and then everybody got mad at us for it. It was called slavery. You'll learn about that more Monday on President's Day. By the way, what did Ben and Sweetie have a 4-day weekend?
I'm guessing must be what happened.
And you wonder why kids don't understand science these days.
Yeah. That's probably why he was so confused.
Yeah.
He's not getting the proper schooling.
And don't name check Robin with me.
You've known her a lot longer than he has.
Oh, we have a history. Quite the history.
I really sense you guys have a lot of history between you two.
Yeah. It's called life. Kevin, Jersey.
Yeah, hi. First of all, congratulations on your sandwich, Gail. That sounds like a tasty honor.
Thank you so much.
Tasty honor. I like that.
It is one of the tastiest honors, and I thank Mayhem and Stout for giving me the honor.
Wow. I'm speechless. That song everybody's whistling is called Major Dundee, and we used to sing a version of it in the playground that goes like this. It goes, Hitler had only one left ball. Goering had two, but they were small. Himmler had something similar, and Dr. Goebbels had no balls at all.
Now, were you a child during the 1940s? I don't understand these young kids in the suburbs being so tied into that.
Well, it was handed down from the older kids, so yeah.
They must have been much older. I mean, you know, my dad was in that war. He's 88. 88 years young.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding. It's old. It's 88 years old. Well, kids can be mean. You know what I mean? Kids can be so cruel. Yeah. There was this incredibly mean kid. And I mean, I'm fucking haunted about it to this day. But anytime that I would ever fucking rub gum in his hair or punch him in the neck, he would go and just tell the teacher, and she would start yelling at me. So I know what it's like to be bullied out there, kids.
You do.
Yeah.
The gall.
Yeah. And you know what? If I ever run into old Four Eyes Clubfoot again. Oh, wait, I just remembered something. He died in the 7th grade.
Oh, God.
Apparently he had a very weak heart. Somebody punched him in his weak heart.
You know who?
Oh, I know. I know.
And why'd you say apparently?
I remember even his last words. So you guys are laughing because bullying, there's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Bullying.
It's fun for everyone.
You know, it comes up in a memoir that I'm reading right now by Bonnie McFarlane. It's coming out the 23rd?
February 23rd, yes.
Let me just say this. So I start reading it, and I'm like, this is good. And after a while, I'm like, oh, this was really good. This fucking thing is great, and not just because we know her, and not because it's just funny. It's great as a memoir. I mean, it's amazing. She's a terrific writer.
I cannot wait to read it.
Well, you're paying for it.
I am. And I happily
pay for it.
I happily will pay for it.
Are you going to Kindle it or straight bookstore?
I mean, I think I'd like the book, the real thing.
Right now, I'm reading a book about Einstein. It's called I Don't Know What to Do with My Hair. Frankly, it's embarrassing. Mr. Einstein, he's like giving things. Mr. Einstein, any reason why you're not combing your hair? Is gravity pulling your hair up into the air? I mean, that's just fucking crazy.
We're going to listen to this guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't listen to anything he fucking said.
But it really just has always given the illusion like his brain was just working so hard that there's just like electricity around his head.
I think he knew it
times.
too. That was his brand. That was his brand. But you ever look at that guy and he almost looks like pure happiness.
He does. There's something very strangely like childlike about his expressions.
Childlike and nice grandpa that you only get to see every once in a while. Like if you were saying to your mom, like, how come grandpa doesn't do anything with his hair? And your mom would just start slapping your face as hard as she could. Don't you ever talk about that man. He's a genius. You know, he dedicated his brain to science. And you know what they said about it?
What?
Nothing special.
Really?
Yeah. Anybody could have done this. They were hoping they would find some kind of freak brain. It was just a regular fucking gooey, gross, disgusting brain.
But then how is he, how did he have the great mind that he had?
Because unlike you, he wasn't watching TV and fucking tweeting all day.
That's what I likes to do, though.
He wasn't wondering what kind of new pant was coming in from Europe. Or which one of the bachelors was going to bachelor something. I don't know. I've never seen that show. I don't know what happened. They bowl?
Yeah, I think they bowl for love.
I saw a thing in the paper the other day. It was the New York Daily News, the only paper that puts clown face all over presidential candidates. But they said that Bruce Willis was at that bowling alley over by the bus station, and he bowled a 283.
What?
Yeah.
You're making that shit up.
That's really good, right?
That dude can roll. He's a pervert, dude.
He's a pederast.
He's a pederast. Yeah, 283 is a great number.
It's like a really... What's a perfect 300?
300. So it's 17 pins less than 300.
Wow, who knew Bruce Willis would be such a good bowler?
Seems like a planted story to me. Seems like it's a sham.
Why do you gotta fucking doubt everything, Chris? Why can't there be just one positive day with you?
I'm just saying smoke and mirrors. They just want to get some positive
what would be the
It's not smoke and mirrors, it's smoke on the water.
Love that song.
Frank Zappa and the Mother, we were at the best place around.
What would be the benefit of lying that you bowled it? First of all,
makes me want to see his new movie, I'm telling you that.
Exactly. It's all a sham.
I mean, I've been going to see a lot of Dick Weber movies because he was such a great bowler. Hey, coming up in a couple of minutes, our own Kashmir is going to play Cupid to the Comedy Stars. And it's Comedy Cupid is how he sees himself. I don't know why. And I also don't know why this, up on the iBank, he put a picture of himself in the lead story there, and he looks fucking fantastic.
Because he is comedy's Cupid.
I say...
You know, really, this is a story about him more than anyone else.
Self-absorbed.
It's another memoir. All right, why don't we bring him in? What's our big song for him today, Chris?
Well, we have a big intro for him.
I did not know this. This is very excited. Let me just say this. At a time when my producers aren't even getting mic time, this guy's coming in ready to rock. It's Comedy's Cupid, our own Kashmir.
Love is in the air. But is it in the green room of comedy clubs? Comedians may be able to zing, but can they find a ring? I'm Kashmir, Comedy's Cupid, and these are the comics I think should live laughably ever after.
Hey, I never heard anyone do their own intro before. That's also pretty exciting.
It's me, Kashmir.
There I am. Yay!
I just turned around fashionably. Why did you... This is up on the iBank, and you actually have a picture of yourself, I believe, looking down at your brother JFK's grave.
You have to pay tribute. I mean, no matter what. It's really dedicated to him.
Yeah.
He loved love.
So, this is you... Now, these people aren't together.
They're not together.
Yeah.
yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll change. Some of them are a little misguided in finding who they're looking for.
I see.
And I really feel like they needed a little help, so I brought down my little arrow.
Yeah.
Nicked my face on the way.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, no.
Now, the tagline is finding love in the comedy world since 2016.
It's new, yeah.
Not that long.
Yeah. A solid month and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a great year for love.
Well, let's hear some of your ideas of who should be together.
All right. Well, my first couple who I love together so much is Liza Schlesinger, who is just so funny. She's done a lot of dating shows, so she knows the whole first date, awkward first date, and Bo Burnham.
Really?
Because I don't know, like they both love making weird sounds, and I feel like that'll really carry over in a lot of places in their relationship.
The bedroom, perhaps.
Bedroom, yeah. They won't like. I feel like they could just have an intimate connection, not with words, but just with like cackles and like lizard little sirens.
So you're saying that you feel that these two could, as they call it today, storm fuck.
I would say exactly. Yeah, I feel like that term is coined for them.
Now, I think this is an incredibly good-looking couple. Like, they look like they should be a couple. It makes a lot of sense.
It's one of those couples that walk in and you're like, oh yeah, menage a trois with that. Yeah, they're so, yeah.
All right.
And it's also so cute because their Instagrams are filled with their little dogs. And their dogs would be a great couple, too, because they have the perfect nursing home team name, Bruce and Blanche.
Okay. Now, I don't know if everybody knows this about Kashmir, but at nights he looks at celebrities, as he calls them, Instas.
Yeah.
He just calls them Instas.
He is always on the gram.
This is my Iowa caucus. Like, I'm on there. Yeah.
You said that you will go away for hours at a time, just going deep into somebody's Insta.
Yeah, you fill the tub up with a soak.
Uh-huh.
You have a little Chardonnay, and you just are Instagramming crazy.
Gail, would these two make a good couple, you think?
I think that this sounds like an excellent couple, and I love the must-love dogs element to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
They're gonna go to the dog park together.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because you couldn't have them with like a cat or someone who's allergic. Like I feel like that would be the major deal breaker for Liza because she just is always talking about her dog.
Now, does anyone else find it odd that Gail brings up must-love dogs at least once a week?
What?
Sometimes once an hour.
Must-love dogs.
You must love dogs.
Yeah, that would be her thing.
Sometimes when I walk into a room, I just have to establish who's must-love dogs here because I know I am.
Show hands, show paws. And it's also great because she's doing a new dating show this year. And it's called Separation Anxiety. So, like, they're cute little Snapchats. Like, she has separation anxiety from Bo. I'm planning their entire digital life together.
All right.
It's great.
Wow.
So, everybody thinks this one works, right?
I say thumbs up to this one. It makes a lot of sense.
All right.
So
Comedy is Cupid since 2016.
Right, so.
It's up on the iBang. It's the Valentine Comedy Special. Who's next on your list?
All right, so our next group is going to be Michelle Collins, my new favorite girl, and Dan Soder.
Oh.
She's going to Soder him up, and he will not be the same.
Dan Soder of The Bonfire. And what show is she on?
She's newly on The View.
Uh-huh.
So on my View demo, if anyone else watches that with me, we know her, we love her.
You love The View.
It's the only reason I have DVR.
Better than the talk or the...
I like The View.
Shoe?
I'm more of a visual person, so I got to view more than talk.
All right, so there she is, and you find her to be hysterical.
So great. Very quick, very fast. I feel like she can kind of dance around Soder a little bit and get him excited, keep him on his toes, which he needs.
He's a quick one, too.
Yeah.
So you're
so
going
they have some good
You're going to get finally someone who can keep up with you.
Yeah.
Right?
And now, of course, that he's on Billions, we saw him the other night. The whole Bonfire did that show, but not together. It was odd. It was odd for me to see them in two different jobs doing things. Nothing takes you out of a movie faster than you know the guy from work. Let's see what Dan Soder thinks about this idea, though. He would be together with who?
Michelle Collins.
All right, let's see what Dan Soder has to say. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I think he likes it comedy.
Oh my God,
He
Dan, you're
loves
welcome. Wow. Okay.
Now, does he take a microphone with him everywhere? Is he?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's cute because he has the microphone and she has a champagne on the picture on the eye bag,
Now-
so it's like she has a little fun.
We don't even know if these two know each other. They probably don't. They seem like they're in different comedy worlds.
Different little worlds, but I feel like I don't know much about Einstein, but I think worlds are colliding now. They could be the two black holes coming together, and we'll hear some noise.
Yeah,
We'll hear some noise from them. Yeah,
we're hearing it. We're
it's
hearing
so
it all
cute.
right.
Yeah, so I would love to watch them I would love to watch them on a first date or something, and they have so much fun with it.
Yeah,
they just really just go
I'd
on.
rather watch their seventh date if you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
That view. Yeah, that pay-per-view.
Yes, he's doing his thing, Chris. All right, let's go
I
to
wanna
the
call
next.
myself Jesus.
So everybody likes this one. Thinks this works.
I think this is great. I'm very interested in this.
I'm
couple.
actually mad at Dan for not doing this himself. Dan should have been over there hanging outside the view door.
I know. Dropping that billions
Oh, yeah.
credit.
She gets out at noon. She has time for a quick after lunch.
No
yeah.
kidding. All right, what do we got next?
All right, so next we're going to go with Little Miss Amy Schumer and Aziz Ansari.
Well, let me say this. Their bankers agree.
Can I get a preach? Yeah. Their loft would be great. And yeah. And I'm not on sorry to Amy Schumer's new boyfriend because he's great. I know his furniture's probably amazing, but I think she needs a guy in the comedy world. I feel like that's just how she operates.
Somebody she could talk shop with.
Yeah. Come back.
Someone who she could be like on the level with.
Yeah, because when she comes home after a long day, she puts her feet up. He's like, "No, I made that." Like she doesn't want that.
You know, this is really convincing to me because at first I was thinking she's got a new man, she seems happy with the man, but seeing them next to each other there, I feel like you just want to scream, don't you know? It's always been you.
But what about this? I feel like their families would keep them apart, particularly his.
But nothing can be sexier than that.
Right? That little,
That's true.
That could drive them even closer together.
Yeah, that's how Joey Jojo ended up with Vito.
That's how I was born.
But your parents crossed the ethnic lines, right?
They did.
What's your dad?
Swedish and Dutch.
And your mom?
Puerto Rican.
That's very exciting.
Very exciting. A little taboo, right?
Yeah, and they give birth to 3 dull boys. That's
Yeah, they did.
Amazing.
All white.
All right, by the way, Amy looks cute in that picture. She's kind of blowing a kiss to
she
Aziz.
knows it, yeah.
But doesn't he look a little standoffish?
I feel like that's because he gives off all those funny vibes, but I feel like he needs someone on the off to open him up a little bit more.
Now, by the way, Chris, what is he doing with his arms? What does that remind you of?
He's crossing his arms?
Yeah. That was you at the TJ Miller warm-up. You had crossed your arms and were leaning against the back wall.
That's terrible. That's really bad.
You got to take center stage.
You got to make people feel like you want them there.
Comfortable. Make them feel comfortable.
You don't need to play hard to get like Aziz does.
Yeah. Amy's not coming. She's already with him. She's good. And it's also so cute that they both in their shows love Plan B. Because it's clearly they're each other's plan A. Let's be real. And also they probably have someone stored, so they wouldn't need they have everything worked out for them.
And they're buds already, right? Like
I would imagine. I don't know that for sure, though.
All over the Instas. He's everywhere. Yeah, they went to Thanksgiving together.
Okay,
They did.
so this is one of those things where you look at them and you're like, I didn't realize I always felt this way.
And this is literally a rom-com.
Yeah.
In the making.
You know Jennifer Lawrence is thinking the same thing. She's like, thank you. Someone else is saying it.
I don't think she's that bright.
But she is silly, though.
Yeah,
she has a lot of
she's
joy.
She is
Yeah.
so
She
goofy.
falls down so much. She fell at the Oscars and chipped a tooth.
She loves pizza. Like, she's great.
She does?
Oh, yeah. She's a pizza girl. She's pizza and sweats.
Sure.
First woman ever to like pizza and sweats. She's really groundbreaking in that.
Yeah. She's the Einstein of her world. All right, these are, again, we got agreement everywhere?
I think
They're just perfect.
This is a great one.
Okay, so now we're moving down, and we got ourselves... This is my favorite couple on the list, I want to say.
Yeah.
Joe Mandy and Alana Glazer.
Ooh.
They're just...
Wow.
Yeah,
there's Einstein.
They'd probably talk about him after they're a little too high, yeah. Because they're just...
Why can't we just look at the site?
And it's just so great because they're both... All their jokes are just so alternative and weird, and they always involve a high story. And I didn't know how much he'd be great until I saw an interview with him when he got too high as a guest on Fox News and he forgot he was there. And I was like, oh, that would happen. Like, that's a Broad City sketch.
I think that this is maybe the most real life couple comedy Cupid has come up with.
But
this seems like it should be.
But let me say something about Joe Mandy, and he's done the show before, and he is absolutely hilarious. I have the feeling he needs a Cupid because he doesn't seem to be a guy who's going to do the hunting himself.
Really?
Like, yeah, he seems like he'll make a better boyfriend than he will pursuer.
But that's perfect with her because she is a huntress for sure.
Right.
Oh, that's
like she's very bold and very sure of what she wants. She's not very timid in that way. I feel like
Here's what we got to do, and I'm sure you did this in elementary school.
Okay.
Where you get behind the boy and then behind the girl, and then you shove them together as hard as you can until they get angry with you.
Yeah. But then they realize maybe somehow.
In my world, that never got realized because somebody always would yell out, "He's special needs."
Which she's into, I feel like, maybe. Yeah, so.
Were they together for this picture? Or is that Photoshop?
It looks almost too real, which is weird. Like, it looks like I'd be like not surprised if I saw them just in Central Park covered in flowers. I'm like, yeah, that's just what they do. That's their Friday. Yeah. Like, guys,
So you're like a gossip column in real life, like just walking through Central Park. You will start and go like, that should happen.
I'm like, do you see that woman? Mm-hmm. True to form.
This is something about Kashmir. He loves love.
I love it.
It's so true.
It's the strongest feeling.
And in Chris's case, he loves opiates.
Yeah.
So,
Makes you feel good.
It's kind
both things actually do
Love
make
and
you
other
feel
drugs,
good.
yeah.
All right, let's take a look at it. And we're all agreeing on this one, right?
yeah, I think this might be the best one so far.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years they're getting getting married here. We'll
Let's get married in the fishbowl.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I feel like Doug Benson might be better. If she loves weed so much, Doug Benson might be the guy for her.
She's not just about weed.
Yes, not everybody is 24/7 the way you are, dude.
And he talks like because he's so great. He's like, "Oh, I'm Doug. I love weed," but Joe and Alana are just like, "What?" Like, it's just what we do. It's just it's like flossing for them. They're just like, we don't have to talk about it. We'll just do it every night. They're a floss weed couple.
They are. They're a floss weed. They're going to take a joint and floss with it.
Wait, did we just get a new idea?
I'm glad we pointed out how stupid Chris is.
Yeah. He doesn't understand anything about love.
All right, the next couple's a lot of fun. Chelsea Handler and Hannibal Perez.
Wow. Chelsea. Now, did you see Chelsea's ass? It was up on the iBag yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he did too.
I wonder if Hannibal took a gander.
That's for days.
The thing about this is now I'm going to give you this. It seems like A Star Is Born, though. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, here's Hannibal. He's Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's definitely acting like John Norman Howard. Right now. She's being reckless, you know. First of all, this couple works 100%. And next to each other, they look great together.
They do. They are a good-looking couple.
Yeah.
I feel like both of them would be into it. Like, this is one where I feel if you pitched this idea to them, like, hey, I think that you would be good with, I think both of them would be totally.
But see, here's the odd thing about that. Chelsea, through her entertaining, we all feel like we know her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hannibal, through his entertaining, I still don't feel like I know who the real Hannibal is.
He has those
I don't
balls.
think he gives, certainly not as much away as Chelsea does, who tells you every single...
You don't see his ass that much, no.
No, you'll never see him put like his in a ass pic myself.
Come on, Han. Maybe his mirror's not clean, but I'm not sure.
Maybe he doesn't have a tub that nice.
And like she used to date 50 Cent, Hannibal's the full dollar.
Oh,
He's got it. Yeah, he's the whole package. And she just did the docuseries on Netflix.
Yeah.
Her whole one was about marriage, and she was kind of realizing how she's ready to make that leap to maybe try some commitment. And I feel like, he's super against rape, as we know.
But he is.
He's so against rape, which I think Chelsea likes. I think she's for it. Like, a girl needs that sometimes.
Yeah.
And,
it's very attractive when a man is anti-rape.
Yeah, right. And they're like, I feel like they'd have a lot of great banter. Like, not like they wouldn't be fun at a dinner party, but they'd be fun to listen to them trash a dinner party. Like, they'll make the host cry, but sitting next to them would be amazing.
We're the choir now. You're the preacher. We get it.
Sing out, Louise.
Now, here's the only down thing. I feel like there was no reason to hurt 50 Cent in the middle of all that.
I know he's going through bankruptcy. Now he's 25. Yeah.
I feel for him right now.
50, I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it'd just be so perfect.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
No one's disagreeing.
Right?
I mean,
No.
Chris tried once, he got trounced.
No.
Just trying to throw Doug out there.
Just
Why
let
can he
love
find
happen.
You don't know if he's showing up later. He could be.
Yeah, you don't know.
All right, let's take a look at the next one.
This one is Lisa Lampanelli and Jeff Ross. It'd be so good. It'd be so good just because they're always at the like they would just rip each other apart so much. But then you know that makeup though.
Oh yeah, but don't you worry about Lisa killing him at some point?
I think that would just
stabbing him to death or beating him with a
raises the
hatchet.
stake. You know, 2016 BDSM has never been hotter.
You know, they're both very sensitive people, though, beyond their thing. I know Lisa, and she's incredibly sensitive. And I hear from people that Jeff is very sensitive to people's feelings.
That would be good for them because they both have the same exterior where they're known for being killers, but then deep down inside, they've got this soft center.
But are they too much alike? You know what I mean?
Okay, maybe of all of the couples, I see this being like a tumultuous relationship that could be very fiery, and then maybe implode.
Fire and ice. Yeah,
it could implode. This might
actually
not
be fire and fire.
Right.
I mean, this
so
might
hot.
be trying to put a round stick in a round hole. You know?
sense.
And that's what... See, our problem here is who's the closer, too. Because, you know...
Well, maybe they'll be able to give a little give and take. They each take turns having that control.
I'm just saying this. I think this is the riskiest of all.
But you know what? Love is about risk.
Is it?
It's taking that chance. It's jumping off that cliff and hoping that, you know, your heart will be your parachute. I need to quote.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna put that on like some pillow and sell it. That was, yeah.
So
that was great.
What was the before the heart will be your parachute?
Love is a risk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to jump off that cliff.
And then your heart will be your
Heart
parachute.
will be your parachute.
Do you know that a heart isn't, though? I mean, if you try to hold onto a heart when you jump off
I
the cliff,
never took bio.
you're just going to go straight down. Hit the ground.
Are we okay?
All right, we all agree that
I think that
this would be great if it does work, but this is a scary one.
I think it could be very sexy. I feel like they could have a sexy romp,
It would
but I'm
start
not
as
sure if it could last.
Yeah, it would start as a huge on and off. They'd have a lot of breaks. Like, I can't deal with.
I wonder if they've already had a sexy romp.
Ooh,
perhaps.
Maybe it's already. It's underneath our noses this entire time.
All right, what's the next
And
one?
our best for last, I feel, is personally, I love this. Just two strong, confident men coming to terms with who they are, and it's Louis J. Gomez and Big J. Okerson. Tear to your eye.
There's a picture of them making out.
Beautiful.
It just they couldn't control themselves anymore. It was one of those things. There's Nicholas Sparks said it best. I have a quote up there, just like, I love you as a friend and I love you as a lover, and I don't know which one I love more. And I think that is their relationship.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I know there's a little backstory to this picture, and it's not as romantic as it looks. Lewis is actually spitting Jay's jizz back into his own mouth.
Gotta keep the teeth white, yeah.
Oh, God.
To me, that does sound like love.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you're right.
Like
I mean, it was clear from the moment we saw this picture, the body language, the sparks between them.
Yeah. Now, who's the top and who's the bottom here?
I would say Lewis is very excitedly atop. I'd say he's already, because as you can tell by the hands, he's already doing his thing. I think he's already halfway through a top.
But you're saying a quick top. Like he ain't going to be up there long.
Just too much yeah.
Now, what is it about Jay that makes you feel like he's such a bottom?
I think because he's just kind of like, he's like, all right, I'll let you have the moment, Lewis. He's not going to try to overpower Lewis and be like, no, you got to do this, because he knows he's excited. He's a little scared in this uncharted territory. And he's willing to let Lewis be Lewis. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about the relationship.
I don't think Lewis will even give a reach around. I don't. Lewis is the selfish.
Lewis cares about the real ass dude.
Yeah. He's
the
the
real
selfish
ass of
lover.
the real ass dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just so cute, yeah. And when Big J was in here, the smile on his face talking about this, it was...
Yeah, you could see
It was polarizing.
the joy.
Did your gaydar go off on that?
Oh, I did a 360. So I was like, whoa, yeah. And I'm not one to call out in front of someone. I learned to talk behind backs. So I was like, I'll wait for him to leave, and I'll bring it up now. And I think it's good. I hope he hears, and I hope he just becomes more comfortable with himself.
And now that they've broke through this barrier, like the kiss happened.
Yes, Cherry.
Yeah. And now they'll feel more comfortable to explore it again, I think.
Yeah. They could have a cute little...
I got the feeling that Lewis will never call him back.
Oh.
I don't know.
I think he's the doll.
Or he's just more of a texter. You never know.
Yeah, but that can hurt.
Yeah.
And I worry about Jay. Jay's a very sensitive person.
He is sensitive.
Yeah. He's got that big show coming up. Last thing he needs is Lewis on his mind.
Yeah. But he needs Lewis on him, not on his mind.
That's true.
That's true. You know,
that's nice.
Lewis needs to be strong for him in the relationship because Big J gives a lot. I feel like it's his time to kind of contribute a little. That's what I'm hoping for.
Am I crazy that I can picture while they're doing it, Dave Smith coming in and peeing on them both? Or is that weird? Are we not ready? I mean, we have a presidential candidate from the future.
That completes it, I think.
It's Sweet 16, baby.
It's a disinfectant.
Yeah, it is Sweet 16.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's what love's all. It's trying it out. Yeah, it's getting a little wet sometimes.
Okay, wet works.
Wet works. And I feel like, their wedding would be a lot of fun, too. I feel like they definitely... Logo would film it. They'd have a 2-part special. Be one of those fun, like, TV weddings where they just laugh at themselves. They have a ball.
Well, Comedy Cupid, you have nailed it this year.
You've done it.
This one is... all right, somebody said this. Let your fart be your parachute.
It is a propeller, yeah. I don't know if it will bring... You have to angle the ass the right way for that, though.
Oh, is that right?
Because if you're farting with the ass facing up, you're just going down faster.
I see.
It's a science.
I see. Yeah, it is back to science.
It's back to God.
It all is.
Yeah, Bill Nye.
I didn't even know Cupid's work was so scientific.
It's really... Yeah, it's every, class subject.
Well, that's fantastic. Great job. Great job, buddy.
I'm so excited to see the wedding bells.
He's Comedy's Cupid, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Ryan M. has a picture of your amazing sandwich from Mayhem and Stout. Gail, you should actually probably take your best buddy there, Cupid.
Yes.
Cashmere Cupid to Mayhem and Stout, and you guys could do like a Sex in the City lunch.
I would love that.
Have some Gail sandwiches, yeah.
Yes.
Although I have a feeling that Cashmere just nibbles at the end. So.
Got it. I mean, I lost my way from the flu. I can't fucking lose this now.
I know.
I can't lose this.
I know. That thing really worked out for you in a big way.
Yeah, only positives, yeah.
So you're going to keep trying to get yourself sicker and sicker, get bit by one of those new nasty mosquitoes.
I've so many toilet seats, yeah. I'm just jumping into bushes hoping that something bites me, yeah.
He's going to send away for a tapeworm.
Yeah. Oh, my God, could you imagine? That'd be a goal.
Liz Sets Fire plans on going as soon as she hits the city. A lot of people,
so warm right
a lot
now,
of people
too.
loving Cashmere, too. Cashmere... Easily one of the most favorite of all-time interns we've ever had.
He is beloved.
Love right back. Love all around.
Seems like Cupid's arrow hit our hearts, Cashmere.
Wait, that's our parachute.
No!
Here's Eric in Kentucky.
Hey, Big J was just talking on the bonfire about giving and receiving ass play.
Of course he was.
Yeah, well, he's totally open to receiving, so I think Cashmere's right. He nailed it.
Okay, right? I know. Yeah, I did not nail Big J, but I nailed that, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could, Cashmere.
But you could.
But, Eric, you know. Eric knows me.
All right, great job.
Yes!
Fantastic. Cashmere definitely has a future in this business. We're going to break. Hey, coming up in a little bit, it is Unmasked with TJ Miller. It's a really interesting, deep one. He actually told us afterwards that he brought up a lot of things that he never talked about in public before, so you're going to enjoy that. And then also all weekend long, it's the My Wife Hates Me podcast.
That's right. That's playing this Saturday at noon, Sunday at 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Raw Dog.
Fantastic. We'll break here. Right back with more. This is Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Friday coming up. In about 30 minutes, we're going to throw it to Unmasked with TJ Miller. TJ is going to be in the big movie this weekend that everybody's raving about, Deadpool, something that just the comic book geeks liked before, and now is going mainstream. There's already supposedly a green light for Deadpool 2 before this even comes out.
I'm very interested in Deadpool because I had not known the comic or anything like that, but I'm interested that it's a very different kind of comic book movie.
I don't know. I mean, it makes fun of comic book movies, but still is a comic book movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's bringing back the, taking jabs at it by in the same time, still hitting all the bases that you're supposed to hit in a comic book movie, although it is R-rated. And I saw the Batman and Superman, and that one looked so dark. Like I couldn't tell who was punching who. But this one, it's all about kind of fun and strangeness and, whatever people like to go out and see. I don't want to give anything away, but the title pages had everybody screaming in the theater that I was in.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to give it away. There's a video up on the iBank today. It's one of my favorite I've ever seen. And from the title, I thought I would hate it. But this kid threw eggs at his mom for a year. And it just had me fucking rolling.
She's being punked?
Yeah, I guess in their own way, it's like a punk thing. But just turn it up so you can hear her. Now, let me just explain this. We'll stop it. Stop it as we sit so I can explain it. What he does is he just lobs her right in front of her. So she just has an egg in her face, and it's just happening pretty constantly. Here, go ahead and hit it.
Oh, no! 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 Look at that. Oh, no! No!
While we're playing tennis.
Oh, fuck. I'm a chief. No! Oh! Thank you. Yeah, that might be easier. No! Oh! No, your pants.
Yes.
No! 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 Oh! Every fucking day, man.
It's adorable.
It's so funny. She's quick too.
Yeah, she's got good hands. She's got good soft hands.
She doesn't trust herself.
No.
But
well, she's always surprised, but she has she has soft hands. A lot of people don't know how to catch. They push their hand at the ball instead of taking it in. Take it in. That's why I'm going to have you guys just take a lot of infield practice before we start the scrimmage at all. Just play after play. All right, I'm going to ask you guys this. Zoolander 2 opens today. So does Deadpool. What's going to be a bigger movie, Chris?
Deadpool's going to be the bigger movie.
Give me the numbers for both.
Deadpool will make $32 million. Zoolander's going to make 27.
Go ahead. What do you got, Joey?
Zoolander's going to be the bigger movie because they got a returning fan base.
Give it to me.
They're going to make $50 million. Deadpool's going to make $48 million this weekend.
So just by $2 million.
Yeah.
Could be close. I think that Deadpool will take it. I'll say it's going to be like 55-35.
I'm going to say you're 55. I'm going to go higher than your 55 and much lower on this Zoolander. I think the Zoolander stiffs this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. I think that the Deadpool is aimed at the right age group, that a lot of kids that go to movies now have no idea what Zoolander was.
True.
Also, Zoolander wasn't the hit that everybody thought it was. It was like, that thing that people caught up to later on in DVDs. And nobody thought, oh man, I hope they make another Zoolander.
Yeah, I mean, when I found out that it was happening, I felt more like, wow, I didn't even know that I wanted this. I'm happy that it's happening, but it was not something that it was in my mind, like, there has to be a Zoolander 2. That being said, I loved that movie, but it was a cult hit. It was definitely...
I loved it too.
Yeah.
But then when it got brought up that it was being made, I said this, Zoolander? That's how I'd forgotten, because I was so young when this came out. It's like 2000, I was barely walking.
You're just a little baby.
Yeah.
You're just a little baby.
You're just a little tiny baby. Yeah, I think the Deadpool does big business, and I think the Zoolander is going to be surprised. There's a thing up. I'm going to ask whether it's fucking freaky or cool, but they're selling these little pet thumb monkeys in China. I did not even know that this was a real thing. And it's the monkey the size of your thumb. And if you look at it, it seems some people would love, but I find it to be horrific.
I think it is the cutest damn thing I've ever seen. I cannot believe that is a real thing. When I was little, I remember, I think it was One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, or one of those books. And there was a little creature that somebody said that they had, and it almost looked like that. It was like a little creature that would jump back and forth between your fingers. And I remember looking at it and being like, why isn't that a real thing? It turns out it is. That thing is so sickly adorable. I can't take it. It's so teeny tiny. It's like a teeny tiny fuzzy little alien.
But I would worry about hurting it or stepping on it. You know what I mean? This is like having a caterpillar as a fucking pet.
You're going to lose it in the house.
It's so cute. I can't take it.
It's adorable, but it's going to die on you, and you're going to scream as it gets sucked down the tub or something.
Oh, no.
What if you vacuum it up by mistake?
I won't. I'll take such good care of this thumb monkey.
Remember these
give me
things?
this thumb monkey, please.
It was years ago, and they were like little dolls, but you would wrap it around your pencil.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of a little gummy kind of texture.
That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
But it's alive.
Look at its eyes. I can't believe that's a real thing.
So apparently this is against the law, what they're doing. These aren't,
they're legal
obviously
pet.
endangered creatures because they're so tiny.
Oh my God. But look at, I literally can't even. Look at the teeny hand. Look at the hand.
It's a paw.
Terrible.
Do you call it a paw?
Monkey paw.
I guess you do, but it's hand-like. So
is this
it feels
science created or is this natural? Does some scientists just decide to make it?
What are you, fucking crazy?
What do you mean, in a
We
lab?
don't make animals, dude. We don't have that power.
I thought maybe they bred them genetically, right? So that they could sell baby tiny little hand monkeys.
Listen, this is a real monkey. I don't know what you think this is.
I have a feeling it may not even be a monkey. It might look like a monkey.
Those fucking black eyeballs.
I know,
mouse monkey.
Yeah, it might be something that is closer to the chipmunk family rather than the monkey family. But by the way, Chris, what did you say Deadpool would do?
$32 million.
It made $12 million last night alone.
Oh,
you're an embarrassment to this fucking projecting business. That we are 538. That's our job.
Got blown away already.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was at the preview. I saw the audience. They went fucking batshit. I was much more stoic than the rest of the audience. But they were going fucking crazy.
Well, you were watching it from an interviewer's perspective.
Not really.
Oh.
I was already pissed that I was 4.5 hours early.
Oh.
But do you know how you're supposed to wait until the end of the movie with one of those things so they give away something?
Yeah.
There's a big one.
Really?
Yeah. And
Those
the
are fun. People
place
love
went
those.
Crazy for that too.
Love a post-credit scene.
What's it called?
A post-credit scene.
Okay.
Post-credit scene.
Boom, ba-dum, ba-bum, ba-bum,
I'm going to go see it with my little thumb monkey.
Don't. You'll lose it in the theater.
I'm going to just sit him right on the top of the popcorn.
I know some of the interview people, and one of them turned around reviewer people. This is from a publication, and yelled at me during this thing, like, can you believe it? What they screamed. And it was basically what the parody was.
Yeah.
It was one of the lowest moments of my life. I mean, it reminded me of being 4. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get fucking excited about some of the stuff that people get excited about.
Well, people have been waiting for Deadpool for years.
Yeah, but most of the audience isn't going to know Deadpool at all. Like, the people, the internet people that you're talking about are going to be a small fraction of what that is. This is going to be Marvel movie fans going, but I don't believe that the 100,000 people who maybe read Deadpool comics matter into this. And I have no idea, other than hearing about Deadpool like everybody else and seeing the trailers, but I don't know the backstory. And I picked it up in 2 seconds. It's a movie.
That's what they do.
There's actually was some, I will give this away. There was some anger that I saw, and that is the fact that Deadpool is not pansexual in this.
He was not pansexual enough. Yeah. He didn't do anything pan-like.
No, he didn't do anything with the boys.
Or question mark.
But there's quite a bit of the pan stuff on TV now. That TV show Lucifer, he's pan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then Ray Liotta is married to a woman, and
he's a pan.
Or maybe just gay. I don't know.
She's a beard.
Maybe, or he was straight at one time, and now
she turned him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it's fluid, Chris.
I live in a black and white world.
All right, Andrea.
You gotta change.
Really? Because there's no one grayer than you. And that's just
your complexion.
Andrea says she wants more of these little monkeys that's up on the iBank today, and she wants air. Let me just say this, Andrea. You think so, but be without air and see if you wouldn't give away a bucket of these fucking things to start breathing again.
You want to inhale tiny monkeys? Is that it?
Tiny monkey in your lungs?
Wanna inhale some tiny monkeys.
Oh my God, it's so cute. Look at his little expression. It's so thoughtful.
What happened? Is that Dwight Gooden's head?
Yeah.
What happened?
Somebody knocked into him and broke him.
Well, first of all, why do you bring a toy to work and put it on your desk?
Well, because I have a desk now and I've always wanted one, so I thought it would be cool to make it festive and like put a little bobblehead on it.
Whoever broke it, did they break it on purpose, or do you feel like this is a hate crime from a Yankee fan?
It could be.
Okay.
I'm a Mets. Last you remember, I was a Mets fan.
I remember you burnt the hat.
They broke it on purpose. I saw them bump into it, look around, and try to put the head back on and act like nothing had happened.
I was going to think that it was me until you said put the head back on, because I surely wouldn't have given a fuck. Who are you going to give us? So you saw it. Did you confront the person?
No, I wanted to be a nice person, but tried to leave the head on there for a little, but the head wasn't bobbling anymore. And that
so why do you still put a headless fucking bobblehead?
Well, because I still like Dwight Gooden, and I still want my desk to be festive every day.
It is, and it looks sad and fucking weird.
It's
a serial killer.
It's a
all right, so it wasn't you.
It wasn't me. It was not.
I also don't think you'd try to fix it either, would you?
No, I just. Oh shit! Sorry.
You probably would say, your stupid bobblehead just broke, and just walk out of the room.
I don't think Joe would.
I wouldn't do it because first I would buy you 10 because money isn't an issue for me, and I could just buy you like 20 bobbleheads.
And I imagine Gail would be crushed.
I would be crushed.
So it's no one from our show?
It is an intern.
Oh my God!
Are they both the interns here?
Yeah, they're both here.
Send them both in.
This is a goddamn murder mystery.
Oh.
I'm ready to solve the mystery right now. The mystery of the stupid bobblehead. All right, our two interns are Jam Band, who, let's face it, research savvy.
Yeah.
And then Stupid Cupid himself, the man who has taken over the By the way, that thing also looks terrific on the iBank.
It does.
It looks so great. Good writing, too.
Thank you so much.
Now, as we look them over, I feel like went by which one of these guys would break something and not give a fuck, I'm going to guess it's easy to say that this mystery has solved itself, and it's Jam Band.
Wait, Jam Band respects research? He respects the research. I can't see him doing that.
He also, let me just point this out, that when we were putting together, we kind of bring a bunch of songs together, we move them around, sequencing is important to me. And I found something by the late, great Johnny Ace that I thought was a beautiful song. And I'm like, this doesn't fit with the rockabilly, but it does set up the doo-wop that was done in New York just a couple years later.
Yeah.
But I knew that it didn't fit. I knew it in my heart. But, we take like 25 songs and go, who now gets cut out? And Gail said, what do you think about the late, great Johnny Ace, who passed away playing with a gun, thinking it wasn't what it was? And that was my pick. And I heard Jam Band say, I could give a fuck.
Oh,
and I
true
was
story.
like, that was my Dwight Gooden bobblehead. And I was on the other side of the room, and I just went like this. Yeah, but I give. So I feel like it's Jam Band. Anyone think that Kashmir could have done this?
No, Kashmir's a kind soul. Jam Band's just a dark
Is
heart.
it really? If this was an old village, we'd have fucking like just hatchets and torches now.
Whichever one of them floats.
Yeah, right.
He turned me into a newt.
Now, is it possible that neither of these sweet young men broke your bobblehead?
The man who broke this is in the room.
Okay.
And he's wearing flannel.
Okay, they both are.
Did you call what he's wearing flannel?
It's kind of like a cute little. It tells a different story than a flannel.
Yeah, flannel I think also has to do with texture, just not look, right?
I mean, it's a tartan for sure.
It's a flannel.
Yeah.
Plaid.
It's not a tartan in there.
You would say plaid?
Yeah, I would say these are both plaid patterns.
But the Scotch don't use that term.
What?
No.
Really?
They say tartan.
Yeah, they say tartan. They don't even know the word plaid. That's an American phrase.
Wow.
You would know that if your dad cared enough about you.
I guess he doesn't.
I guess not.
Jam Bam, was it you that broke it?
Yeah, I broke the good one.
Now, did you also not give a shit?
Not a single fuck. But I didn't bump into it.
Yeah.
I didn't bump into it. I put it in the tote.
Yeah.
And it fell apart.
I didn't even know that part. I just saw the bump into it.
Now
that was later.
Here's the
broke it twice.
Now, here's the thing. You say you don't give a fuck because no one should have their bobblehead moved in and out of the studio. Is that why you don't give a fuck? Or
I just don't give a fuck.
You wouldn't give a fuck if it was at his house, even, right?
Then I would probably care a little bit.
All right. So what is it? What makes you not care that you broke his? I guess collectible. Is it?
Yeah, collectible. I had to go to a game. There was only 25,000 of them available to the public.
Sounds like a lot.
That's one of 25,000.
Because he made me go up to the office and get it first off.
All right.
And then bring it back down here, and then just left it in here. So I was just like, I'm just throwing this in the tote and bringing it back up.
Now, so you actually, in a way, almost broke it on purpose.
Sure.
The reason I wasn't down here and didn't have it was because I had to go. That was when we were training Dan on helping load the show. So somebody could be a team player and just help bring something back up while they're cleaning.
What if maybe it had been broken beforehand and it was just loose and he didn't even manhandle it?
No, I'll take the credit.
That doesn't make sense.
No, you can do it again.
They flat out step on and broke it. Take it even with Vito, and you know what? I think it worked. But I've been working in this business for decades. I never bring a toy to sit in front of me because this is a work area, not a childhood toy area.
Do you see what's in my work area? All of these things are for instruments of work.
Yes.
And
it's a figure.
Nobody said anything about you, Gail. And there's only one child. Look, there's only one child who brings a toy to work, and Jam Band crushed it under his fucking Nazi boot heel.
It's a collectible, and it's going upwards of $30 on eBay.
Yeah, but see, the thing, it's a collectible to you. It doesn't mean jack shit to him. A collectible should be put in your collectible area.
Well, I wanted to share my happiness with everybody every day.
None of us care.
No.
I've seen Gail come over and tap the bobblehead on some morning.
Gently.
You know,
Gently.
of course, gently.
And then I saw the look on her face the day she touched it. It didn't bobble.
Ah. Now,
God.
you know, down in Florida, I had the same dentist as him, and that dude took gas even for a cleaning, I was told. Even for a cleaning. He just...
Could take a shot?
Really?
No, he could. He liked...
So his head's been off for years before.
Yes. But I tell you something. I find bobbleheads to be despicable, and they're disgusting. They don't look like real life. I know humans; their heads don't bobble.
They're giants.
They're set too large.
It's ridiculous.
That is not art. It's
to be
kitsch.
honest with you, Vito, that's an accident waiting to happen with a little neck like that and the size of the head.
Yeah.
It's asking for a snapping.
And accidents will happen. It's only hit and run. I used to be a victim. Now I'm not the only one. It's Vito, too.
I want a new one.
No, you're not fucking playing that game in this people's court. Here's the deal. You don't bring shit to work that isn't for work. You brought a toy. It got, you got bullied. Take it.
It's not a toy. It's a collectible.
It's a toy.
People
It
collect
doesn't
them.
belong here. I could bring like, oh, look at this beautiful glass face. It's a fucking collectible. I'll sit it in this room.
Yeah,
That's
that takes us up
fucking
to the
insane.
office, up and down each day.
I was trying to be like that delightful assistant you see at the office who has like fun things
That's
on her
fucking
face.
Dwight, and he's a dick. That's the guy at the office.
He's the
Dwight Schrute.
He's the doc.
No, you're the Dwight. You're the fucking asshole of the group who brings shit to work that no one else, that annoys people.
I have no personal items here. I barely have any personal items in my home.
Well, remember when the Stangles put Christmas gear here, and all of us hated it because it was in the way. We want to work.
What's this tent?
This fucking bobblehead deserved to be broken.
He was my friend.
Jam Band did us a favor by destroying this bobblehead.
I disagree with that completely.
You're welcome.
Do you understand that you're in a work environment where everyone's saying we're not happy that you're bringing personal things? There's not one person here going, hey, we should all bring in personal stuff.
And even if we did, we'd make it our beeswax to take care of it ourselves.
Yeah, that is true. Not tell other people to go get it upstairs. Now take it back upstairs. That's fucking crazy. He's the researcher fucking to the stars. He's making things happen. LA's on his mind right now.
These are not.
By the way,
Mets
did we ever
fans.
hear back about that one thing, whether we can use it or not?
Not yet. I'm going to just call him later today. Send an email last night.
A lot of distance those emails go, huh, Chris?
So I'm going to call him.
Joey Jojo, you're the only person that hasn't jumped in on this.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Okay, I think that it's, if you bring a bobblehead, you should handle it yourself, and I've had to go get Vito's bobblehead on many occasions.
Oh, come on.
Seriously, dude.
One time you had to
Guess
get my
what?
bobblehead.
You're the fucking junior member of the staff. You don't come in and try to fucking bring toys from home and then have everybody else fucking responsible for it. You know what? You should be being trained right now by Chris, and Chris should have told you from day one. Don't bring a bunch of fucking bobbleheads in here, dude. Nobody will think that you're serious.
I didn't know he was fucking making other people grab his bobblehead.
See, I think it always works
That
like
sounds
this.
like
I'm calling
HR-worthy.
If you're going to be the guy who has the March Madness thing or sets up the office party, you can't be the new dude doing that, right?
Yeah.
You got to go, hey, how's this place work? You look around here, this is kind of a no bobblehead zone. Well, you wouldn't know that coming in.
No, sure.
But a lot of people here have their own bobbleheads, and they don't bring them in.
Your private bobbleheads.
Yeah. If you go, the bobblehead stupid thing started with those ESPN shows. You notice they're getting rid of them now, too?
Yeah, that they're cleaning up their workspace.
Yeah, Mike and Mike can fucking clean that place out.
Because a while it was like a guy in fucking garbage dump.
Yes, it's like what? It's like, oh, what are you doing? From a child's room?
I worked at a place where everybody had an insane amount of toys on their desk. Not just bobbleheads, but like little Japanese figurines and little collectible comic book, anime characters. and their desks were covered in them. Like, to the point that I would look at it and be like, how much work is going on?
Yeah. And now, how long do those people stay at those desks every day, you think?
They spend a lot of...
So give me an estimate.
I would say anywhere from 8 to 12 hours.
Okay. This kid's 3 hours at this spot.
Right.
How often does he need a bobblehead? I can see if he's putting 12 hours a day over there. I'd say, you know what, bring in a bobblehead for yourself.
You know what?
Make it your own.
You know what? I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put a picture of your bobblehead there? Because it's not going to get broken.
But then he won't bobble. And, I like to look at him for support when
you need to
I'm
look at
sitting
him
here.
and just know he does bobble.
No, imagine he's like, hey, man.
You have to work on your trust
You're going to
issues.
look up every story perfect today. You're going to pitch a no-hitter. And I'm like, thanks, Doc.
Well, you got fucking shelled today because I actually had to tell you, would you please go back to the iBank?
I was trying to be creative and show more pictures.
Yeah, I understand, bobblehead. What I want is just what I'm talking about up there.
Well,
That's it.
Today wasn't a no-hitter. But tomorrow, Tuesday will be.
Oh, Jesus. God. You know, there's something that I hate when someone's on the bubble. Confidence. This kid over here is an intern. He came in with a great fucking Cupid thing. He got airtime. It exploded. We laughed. We went back. He's the intern. You're the guy who was working here. And you're focusing on bobbleheads. You got to get your fucking head in the game.
Your bobblehead. But not your actual.
Who's the guy who fucking signed off on him?
It was me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's
the last thing you need is another loss.
Yeah. Do not need L's. I need W's.
You need what?
Let me just text.
Was that
Don?
Yeah.
What we were thinking about is true.
Oh, what were you thinking about?
That's private.
Oh. Still kind of curious, though.
You'll find out, believe me. You will find out.
Okay.
You won't be curious for long.
Okay.
You'll hear about it at your exit meeting.
Exit meeting?
Yeah. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Say good things about me when you get there.
Always
You want a reference.
I was going to say good things, but this exit meeting sounds...
I doubt you'll even be fucking sober for it. What, for your exit meeting, I'm going to leave a bottle of fucking tequila out front. Oh, no. And then let you run in there, and then I'll pop my head in. I'm like, oh, it stinks of tequila. I guess you guys see what I was talking about.
So when I see that bottle of tequila, I'll know it's coming.
Coming up next, it is TJ Miller Unmasked. All weekend long, you're going to hear me hosting a fun time that I did with Voss and Bonnie down at the New York Underground for My Wife Hates Me, and then you can hear that all weekend long.
Yes, that's Saturday at noon, Sunday at 11 a.m., and 7 p.m. on Raw Dog for the My Wife Hates Me Valentine's Day special.
It's so much fun, and it's great, and thanks to those guys. And by the way, I'll just say it again, Bonnie's book is out of this world. Like, as I'm reading it, I'm like, damn, I didn't realize how much stuff was going on. Good, bad, crazy, but
right.
It's a great memoir. It really is. No matter who wrote it, like, even if I didn't know her work and anything that she'd done, even if she wasn't in show business, just the inside stories and where her head is and her ability to say, what was I thinking? It's really, really great writing. Gail Ann got her own sandwich today that everybody can pick up.
That's right. Point of much pride for me. The Gail Ann, which you can get at Mayhem and Stout on 2nd Avenue and Park. 2 locations.
Sweet.
Check them out. Mayhem and Stout, at Mayhem and Stout on Twitter.
The Gail Ann. Fantastic. All right. We're going to go to this Unmasked with TJ Miller. It's very, very interesting. He goes way deep. I got to tell you, he was actually one of my favorite people we've met in a while. It was really interesting. Not at all in the way that we thought it was going to be.
No way. I was so floored by this Unmasked. He was so funny, but also very clever, deep fella. I had no idea. It was a blast.
I just have to say this. Hicks has one personal item. He brings a pee jug and puts that under his work.
That's a little too personal.
I only use the bathroom here.
Yeah, I know you don't. It's far. It's far. You're on the air and stuff like that.
Just jug it. That's what I always say. Just jug it.
Jug it, then chug it.
I'm not drinking my own urine.
Looks like Mike F is already over enjoying the sandwich.
Oh, nice.
Man, I love the roll that it is too, Gail.
The roll looks great.
Yeah, Mayhem and Stout. You knocked one out of the park here. The Gail Ann sandwich. I love it.
I'm hungry now.
All right. That's it. Enjoy the Unmasked. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. It's supposed to go down minus 30 wind chill tomorrow. So
you'll be cuddling up with your lover.
Yeah, it's a 3-dog night. You're going to have to put all the dogs in bed with you. And probably cut one of them open and wear it like a hat.
God.
Yeah. We're right back with Unmasked. This is The Bennington Show.
Oh, hello. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know what?
You wear your tall shoes. Thank you.
She is bringing back Kiss.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Platform saddles. I like it. Hi, guys.
Well, you know, this is kind of an interesting time to be TJ Miller, right? There's a lot going on.
It's fairly surreal. Yeah, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, wait, what's happening? Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy, and it's nice because what I'm beginning to find is that finally I'm starting to naturally become a trailer for Zach and David Need a Wedding Date, I think it is, but it's Adam Devine, Zac Efron thing. And I was sort of close to doing that movie. It was between that movie and Deadpool. And it just, it makes so much more sense being in Deadpool. That's so much more my speed or brand or whatever douchebag thing you want to, insert in there. And yeah, I mean, once you see Deadpool, which, have any of you guys seen it? No? It is, it's pretty different and it's pretty raw and it's very R-rated and it's a very different superhero movie. So love it or hate it, because it will be polarizing for some people. I think love it or hate it, it hopefully will change the landscape of the comic book movie genre, right. If only by being R-rated. It's like, that's such a different thing for a Marvel movie to have the words cock thistle in it. And it was nice for me because I am an R-rated comedian in the sense that I do Silicon Valley, and it's not raunchy, but my stand-up is an adult sort of themed. It's for adults. And so it's so funny in this superhero movie to be able to say whatever the fuck we want. I thought that was great. It's like serious, right?
Yeah. No.
Fuck yeah.
But here's the thing. It's kind of self-aware of being a comic book movie.
Yeah.
So if you're making other kind of comic book movies, I think this could make kind of the industry a little nervous. You know?
Well, and certainly, and I hope, but I really like that. Silicon Valley, it's like, I think the people in Silicon Valley are so ridiculous. There's some of them are just the worst people on the face of the planet. And so with that, we're really trying to satirize and deflate a little bit of the ego, in the Valley. Deadpool, I hope, does the same thing for comic book movies, that it's like, don't take yourself too seriously. So many of these movies, you get to the third act or something and you know what's going to happen. Everything that you've seen, you've kind of seen before, and you almost can, mouth the words from the final speeches along with the movie. That's how formulaic it's gotten. Sure. And so Deadpool from the outset, from the opening credit sequence, is really telling you, like, this is going to be a bit different. This shit is totally bizarre. We don't take ourselves seriously. And hopefully it takes a twist or turn that one of my favorite moments in the movie is that final Marvel speech by Colossus about being an X-Men, what it is to be a hero. And if you watch the movie, we really take that down a peg.
Right.
Halfway through it. Excuse me, I smoke marijuana. Go ahead.
Yeah. But not now, not at this moment.
No, I can't. There's Sirius. You can do a lot of shit on Sirius you can't do on terrestrial radio, but you cannot get high in the New York studio at all.
We've only actually even had a couple people smoking cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't in California. If you're like, you can wake up at 9 a.m., get high, and then chastise someone for smoking cigarettes. If you ask somebody for a cigarette in Los Angeles, in New York, if you ask somebody for a cigarette, usually they're like, yeah, I got one. In Los Angeles, if you ask someone for a cigarette, they call the police. They're like, are you a criminal? What are you doing here?
But marijuana, wide open.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah, it has medical benefits. That's weird. You say that in Los Angeles, everyone's like, yeah. Here in New York, they're like, does it?
Right.
I can't imagine. No, not like there aren't delivery services for marijuana here in New York City that we all have the number of one in our phones now.
Whatever happened to Cartoon Network, though? That's the one that disappeared. It used to be called Cartoon Network was the name of it.
Was the name of a delivery service?
Yeah, you could get it anywhere.
That is so funny. Just the idea of like, hey, what do you guys want to do today? Should we call Cartoon Network? They must have got a lot of weird calls.
Yeah, they did. And then, of course, when they do get busted, it shows up in the paper like, oh, they were masking this for children.
Right.
You know?
I don't know, not at all. And marijuana is for children. I don't know why people don't understand that. It certainly calms them down. They get they don't let them smoke too much, or they'll get paranoid about Sesame Street talking to them individually.
This is coming from a guy who does voices for Disney.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Disney and DreamWorks, I think, have been really cool about understanding that, like, my advocacy for marijuana is not only being an enthusiast and playing one on TV, but also understanding that, like, we're in the midst of what will become a green rush, and marijuana is going to be our only economic weapon against our enemies in the East.
So that again,
did you feel everyone in here be like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Wait till you hear me talk about Germany. Yikes. Yeah, but I kind of, they've been cool about sort of understanding that I feel strongly about, I think that's a very progressive thing. I'm from Denver. A very progressive thing for the United States to be doing right now is legalizing marijuana. And I don't encourage children to use it, but if you're an adult, I will say that some of the children's movies I've been in are more fun when you're high.
Sure.
Well, specifically Yogi Bear 3D.
Now, when you got offered that kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, that was literally a big role for you to get.
Which Yogi Bear 3D?
Yeah, I mean, you joke about.
No, I don't joke about it. It's the best, and I'm not. I don't mean to interrupt you, but that is the best movie that I've ever done. My performance as Ranger Jones in that film, the best talking bear comedy that has ever existed in the history of cinema, was sort of a tour de force that I won't be able to match. So it's interesting to be a comedian who the pinnacle of your film career has already happened, and all of this, I don't know why you guys are laughing. All of this is kind of a slow downward spiral, and Deadpool's on the way. So, yeah, I mean, you know, that movie was this thing where, you know, I think Transformers 4 I did ironically, but Yogi Bear 3D I was really, really strongly in favor of making that the best movie it could be. I think in part because I watched Yogi Bear growing up, and then also Ranger Jones. Unlike Weasel, Ranger Jones isn't a real character. That was a fictional. They made that up for the film. Whereas with Deadpool, it was the first time I'd ever had to be like, well, are people going to be mad if I don't do Weasel correctly, or if it isn't true to the comic, or, but Tim Miller, the director, sort of said, don't worry about that shit. Just do whatever you want to do. I think it was Ryan who had the onus to, like, be true to this. Do any of you, I had never heard of Deadpool. Had you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I'd heard about it, and because the fact that this project has been bouncing around for a while.
For over a decade, yeah. Anybody else in the audience, have you guys ever heard of, or did you read Deadpool beforehand? Yeah? Yes, okay. So one guy, and that's great. Oh boy, here we go. Opening weekend. Valentine's Day, it's just him being like, anybody else come to hang out? I mean, I hadn't heard of it, and then once I sort of understood that it was an R-rated comic book movie, and I obviously think Ryan Reynolds is very funny, And then when I talked to Kumail Nanjiani, who's I work with on Silicon Valley, he said, "Oh man, are you going to do Deadpool? It's the best. You're not even going to believe it. He breaks the fourth wall. It's all meta comedy. In the video game of Deadpool, he like reaches up and grabs his energy bar and beats the shit out of somebody with it." So in the movie, Deadpool's aware that he's in the movie. He makes fun of Ryan Reynolds. He kind of makes fun of superhero genre movies. So that seemed right up my alley, because they said, there's this Marvel movie that they want you to do, and I said, I'm not going to do a Marvel movie. Again, it's so weird. Again and again, I slowly get lured into doing things that aren't what I thought I would do in my life, because I'm a comedian. But people seem to like them. I mean, even Transformers, though my participation was ironic, it was a really good experience having so many people come and say like, "Oh, I loved you in that movie," or "It was so funny because you were in the movie." So as long as I'm handling the comedy in the projects that I'm doing, I'm fine. But I always get people going, "So are you really excited? Are you really wanting to do a dramatic turn? When are you going to do your big dramatic performance?" And I'm like, "I did it in Yogi Bear 3D. I'm not doing it again." People ask if I want to do a drama. It's like, fuck no. It seems so uninteresting, so unfun. And there's so many other people that are so much better at drama than me. I'll go ahead and let them do it, Christian Bale. Did any of you guys see the Critics' Choice Awards? I like to begin sentences, by the way, just yelling Christian Bale. Christian Bale. Did you guys see the Critics' Choice Awards? I just remember being on stage with this like 4-man puppet rig and doing my ridiculous baloney and just seeing Christian Bale, and he was sort of laughing, but I could see in his eyes that he was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" And that's how I feel when I watch him. I'm like, how could you possibly? Have you been doing meth for 3 weeks in preparation for this? He's a method actor. I'm more of a meth head actor.
Well, you brought up the Critics' Choice Awards, and that was, no one's ever hosted an award show like that. And I also think
4 puppets attached to them.
4
Yes,
puppets
absolutely.
attached, and just really bringing this thing. It felt like we were saying like all the biggest stars in the world gathered on the Lower East Side of some kind of
that's exactly right. I mean, it was almost like I turned it into an alt comedy show from downtown. I said to A&E, that's another thing that didn't make any sense. I remember getting the call, and they were like, "Hey, the Critics' Choice Awards?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the one where I accepted an award and basically told everyone to fuck off and that all this is ridiculous, and I don't take any of it seriously." They're like, "Yeah, they want you to host it." And I was like, "What?" Were they not there when I did my speech? But I think that they got it. The tone of the speech that I gave was irreverent but grateful. And so they I called them and I said, when we had this creative call, I said, "Well, what are you guys, do you know what is going to happen if you let me host this thing?" And they said, "Yeah, we kind of would like you to do your thing," which is always funny to hear like a middle-aged white person be like, "We just want you to do your thing." I'm like, "Okay, thank you." But that was really it, was they said the tone of the show, you can dictate. And so then once I realized that, I was like, all right, then I'm going to go fucking nuts and see what happens. And it was really, ironically, very critically acclaimed. It was like very well received. And so that was cool. And it also made me realize that like, it was just a good platform to be able to be like, you don't have to Ricky Gervais it. You don't have to like be like, Hollywood sucks and you all are whining babies. Everybody knows that. Everybody in Hollywood already is like, yeah, we're pathetic. We know. You don't have to keep telling people that over and over. Instead, I thought it would be a different approach to sort of say, culturally, America is at the forefront, and our media and Hollywood and all that is globally influential. And these awards shows, although we can make fun of them for being empty and ridiculous, we also should say that, these people have worked their whole lives to make content and make movies and television that are important to people. So like, let's celebrate them. It's okay for us all to get drunk and congratulate each other. Like, let it go. So fuck you, Ricky Gervais. anyways. And I wanted to make all these other jokes that I didn't get to make, so I'll do them here for you guys for free. But I wanted to be like, they wouldn't let me, my writers who are brilliant, that we're in this sketch group called Heavyweights. It's Mark Ratterman, Nick Vatterott, Brady Novak, and then Mr. Davis, who's my cousin Miller Davis, and one of the more enigmatic strange writers in Hollywood. They said, you can't spend too much time on Ricky because he doesn't deserve it. But I just loved, I made the joke about how awful of a person do you have to be to make us all feel bad for Mel Gibson. Like, that is so real, But then I love the idea of nobody makes fun of him. Like, nobody gets to be like, because what was he in? Like, Mel Gibson was in Lethal Weapon. Like, I know he's fucked it up, but don't get down on him. Like, he's a great American actor from the lexicon of American cinema. And then Ricky Gervais was like in Ghost Town, which is just, yeah, really. Go ahead and laugh. The only thing funny about it was that he was in it, and Ghost Town was less a movie and more a description of the theaters in which it played. And then the invention of lying. I'll invent a lie. Ricky Gervais has done anything interesting since The Office. There's a lie right there. So I really wanted to attack him almost as much as the teeth on the lower part of his mouth are trying to attack the upper part of his mouth. He's just an awful little puggish man who needs to stop yelling at Hollywood, which gave him a chance and it didn't work, and now he's the Hollywood Foreign Press's jester. Like, fuck him. Sorry. Can you tell I have a couple of opinions on Ricky Gervais? No one even knows how to pronounce his last name, including him. What's going on? He has a French last name, but he's a little puggish Brit. I don't get it.
Have you met him?
No, and I don't care to. What do I don't know what I like. The only thing I could say to him, I've said twice on your show already.
But this is one of the things about you. You come from an absurdist point of view with your comedy, but there's meaning to that for you in terms of. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's interesting because I'm also, talking about is the surreality of sort of being me right now. People are actually, and Deadpool is going to be a big part of this, people are starting to be open to, or at least listening, kind of this positive nihilist absurdism that I'm kind of shilling every moment of the day. I think because people are connecting to it. It's like life in a post-religious society is really absurd, and a lot of us have a tough time taking anything seriously, especially with the political race. I mean, it's really hard for anyone with half a brain not to correctly assert that this thing is ridiculous. I think Donald Trump called Ted Cruz a pussy today or something like that. Yeah, he did call him a pussy. It's like what on earth is going on? Yeah. He did. Yeah. The best thing about the political race so far has been the YouTube compilation of Donald Trump saying China, like over and over again. China. Now what on China? It's so ridiculous. So people, I think, are relating to the absurdity of all this more and more, and then hopefully through my HBO stand-up special, I'll begin to open up the dialogue or begin the conversation about, like, okay, so if everything is really absurd and there is no meaning to any of this, so this all is meaningless, then what next? And Nietzsche's whole thing was like, the second that you embrace nihilism, you overcome it, and you can kind of create your own meaning. And that's the existentialist view of it. And they're really big on, like, we can make our own meaning, create your own sort of, symbolism and iconography and all that. And I totally am into that. But that also is ridiculous. That they're so haughty and preachy about how nothing is haughty or preachy. So absurdism is a nice kind of nihilistic thing that is like, just the heart of it, just don't take it seriously. Don't get so mad about everything because it doesn't really mean anything. Don't be so evangelical about your particular meaning. Don't be so judgmental of other people. Like, just laugh your way through this because it doesn't last that long. And so it's that, and then I'm big into talking about death right now, which goes really well on comedy, serious radio shows. But I'm big on that too because culturally none of us talk about death. And we should, because it's the only thing that we all have in common.
you know? And when we start to talk about it more, then people will be less scared of it. And then when they release their death anxiety, then they can really live and live in a way where they feel kind of free and not afraid. So yeah, none of that is very funny. In fact, it's quite jarring. But you know, somebody kind of has to talk about it. And I do feel that the onus is on young comedians to be, we are the new philosophers because nobody's reading philosophy. I think TED Talks are great, but I think more people listen to and pay attention to comedy than TED Talks. And so I'm hoping that a lot of comedians, especially the next generation after my class, start to sort of not take it seriously, but like take into account the fact that they have a platform where they can talk about meaning or non-meaning in a ridiculous way. And that's sort of the next step. There was the observational humor, then there's political and social satire, and then this is kind of the next step. Anthony Jeselnik and I talk about this a lot, and another comedian and producing partner of mine, Nick Vatterott, about sort of death is like the next topic to tackle. And I think that's great. I'm Epicurean about this. None of us, death and us don't intersect. When you're dead, you won't be around to worry about it. And, so don't let it consume your life at all. Don't spend time being like, I've got to live longer. What's going to happen? It's too much. It's too much. It's so weird. And so lots of people coming back to the cigarettes thing, lots of people are like, sometimes they're like, dang, you do this or that, and I don't smoke cigarettes, I smoke a lot of weed, but, aren't you worried about this or that? I'm like, no, I'm more concerned with living right now. It's fine. Everything will be okay. We're all going to be fine. Just go ahead and not take it seriously and enjoy the ride or whatever it is.
And that really amps up the role of what comedy should play in the society, because you got to put the laugh, and I guess tied with the orgasm.
Yeah. Those two are really fun parts of being alive.
Yeah. But those are the two things that we should be kind of focusing on.
I think so. And it is that perfect drug. You know, it is. I mean, Robert Kelly's a comedian that I respect a lot and who talks about how there is a heroin to it for everybody, for the comedian, which is sort of what he was talking about, but also for the audience, that there is this drug that makes you forget everything that's going on, which is why we all pursue drugs all the time. It lets you forget what's going on, makes you feel really good and really happy. It's that perfect escapism, and it's not bad for you. You know, it's actually good for you to laugh. So, as a drug dealer of that particular drug, which I'm sure my mother is like, great, my son's a drug dealer by his own admission. But dealing that drug, I think, is really important. But it's not just comedy. That's my favorite part of it. But it is entertainment. It's what you do for people where they can check out and listen to your incisive interviewing of people that they're interested in and want to hear something different. That's yet, again, another way to check out. And as modern anxieties increase, because they can, and the more we're able to text and the more information overload, all this stuff, you need that ephemeral escape just for a little bit every day. So I think that the importance of comedy is growing in modern living, and unfortunately, in some ways, the importance of drama is shrinking. And that's why we see the blurring of these shows where people are like, wait, what? That's a comedy? Yeah. It's being described as a comedy? It's because even drama is realizing we better get more comedy into this, because that's what people need as much as drama. And to me, sometimes it's funny. It's like you see a movie or a documentary about how terrible things are, and at the end of it, you're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like I knew. I didn't need to spend 2 hours being like, oh yeah, shit is really fucked up, you know?
Right.
So I think that's why comedy is becoming more prolific, you know?
Well, I think it's always
not prolific. That was completely the wrong word.
But I think it's always been connected, because if you look back at like silent films, that everything was about pratfalls, and I was thinking, why was that so funny? Because those people didn't have hospitals. They were literally so afraid of falling that the thought of falling became hilarious.
There was so much comedy back then in terms of cinema. And yeah, the great D.W. Griffith is not nearly as revered, in part because he's racist. Is not nearly as revered as Charlie Chaplin.
Right.
You know? And even Chaplin and Keaton and Harold Lloyd and Harry Langdon and those guys, they really were delivering something that was very much needed during the Depression, and sort of as the First World War ended and the second one was coming, that was an awful time in America, or at least it was a really challenging one.
Yeah.
And so they really fulfilled that need. And I think that's why Charlie Chaplin is he, Mickey Mouse, and Michael Jackson are like three of the most famous icons in the history of the world, and Julius Caesar, but each equally as important. And only two of those were really that funny. Julius Caesar was kind of a snooze.
But that is, I think, that reflection that you were talking about, that comedy will rise up to whatever the society kind of needs at the time.
Comedy is our weapon.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so interested in absurdity, is like, absurdism is our weapon against all of this. It doesn't make sense. Most of it's pretty tragic and sad. All of us are going to die. The people that we love and hold dear are also going to die. Very few of us will be able to achieve the transparency in a relationship, to achieve ultimate intimacy. It's really, the cards are stacked against us, but the second that you laugh at it and let the air out of it, then we immediately become powerful. Again,
right.
And so that's kind of that's the platform I'm running for president on, is like, use comedy and consume comedy. And in my case and other comedians' case, create comedy that then can be a part of everyone's arsenal to this like everyday warfare that we all go through. And, a lot of people are like, oh, well, first world problems. Well, it's like everybody has problems and real problems, and they'll be there all the time. And, how many of these incredible rappers have told us mo money, mo problems?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter who you are. The mo money you have, the mo problems that will exist, and the mo issues, and the mo difficulties. And it just seems like every day it's mo and mo and mo,
I just
for lesser or more.
This is the first time I realized that was short for more. I had no idea until this
You
very
thought it was
moment.
Mohawk. You're like, Mohawk money, Mohawk problems. I get it. If you've got the money to get a Mohawk, you've got Mohawk problems.
So you can stick with this philosophy of, this, it's a harsh world and then it ends. And yet at the same time, your work is important to you.
I think, for me, the meaning that I made out of this ridiculous charade is the comedy and the very, very boring things that I've just said just now. But for other people, it's different. But my family comes from Southeast Kansas, and so work ethic is sort of godly in their view. And I really enjoy my work, and I wish more people would find things about their work to instead of complaining or finding things to complain about, to find things that are really, really important. I had a great conversation with a UPS driver recently. Talk about California being so much different than New York. This guy delivered a package and I was smoking marijuana, and I was like, would you like some? And he's like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So he sat down and he had this great perspective. He was like, for some people, I'm the only thing they can set their watch to, that they know that if they send the package with us, that tomorrow it will be there. They don't know if they're going, and I'm speaking for him in this instance, but they don't know if they're going to wake up tomorrow. They don't know if their marriage is going to last through another day, but they are positive that we will come through for them when so many other people don't. And I was like, yes, exactly. Then that's how you find joy and happiness in your life and your work. If you can think about it from that perspective, instead of, I gotta deliver another package after I just delivered a package, only to know that I'm going to deliver one more after that. So that is it too, is that comedy is really important to me, but it's also a reason I love the joke of like, I am living proof that if you have just moderate talent but work ethic that is insane, you can become very successful. So I really do believe that the reason I have the work ethic I do is I really am driven by this mission statement behind the comedy that I'm doing. So that makes it very easy. It's not for me. I don't do stand up because there's this. Many comedians always are like, well, I just need approval. I'm desperate for audience's approval. It's like, I really actually don't give a shit. I'm very happy. If Kate is happy with me, then I don't really need anybody else's approval besides her and myself. And I don't even particularly approve of this bullshit that I'm doing. But it is, I'm working for the audience.
Right.
So I'm actually here, and all of you are my boss this afternoon. And that makes it really easy to keep showing up to work and not make it about me.
Well, a life in service is the way, it's supposed to be lived. And also, even if you think about it this way, if...
I love that turn of phrase, a life in service. Yeah, I really like that.
I want you to keep it. And if you
I'm going to say that I said it.
You could get a tattoo and say, look what I came up with. And then I'll be like, I was in service to that guy.
Get a mohawk and a tattoo.
But isn't that true? I mean, like, when you meet people,
I'm going to get a tattoo that says, most service, no problems.
Wouldn't that be odd if we found out that was true? Fuck, this sucks too. All right, on to the next thing. Let's just keep going. But in the same way, like it was somebody's thought of as good and bad, it doesn't mean that they can come really fast, you know? Like it's, and that's what I think.
I also have that as a tattoo.
I feel like a lot of people are trying to take that immediately from every kind of instance of their life. Of no matter where they're going, it's all about themselves. That never gives off the vibe.
And we're taught to do that. And like my overarching, I don't know how all this got so serious, but thank you for being so insightful and having the depth that you have. My overarching goal is eventually to have a nonprofit called Epicurators and to fight advertising with advertising. Okay, guys, I've spent a little bit of time thinking about stuff. Everyone's like, what is happening? I thought that's the guy from the Bear movie. But we've done it to ourselves, and it's not a bad thing. But with advertising, we tell ourselves every day that we're not good enough, and we point at ourselves as the thing that needs to change to become better, for more people. With social media, even we're like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. So we're telling ourselves to be that way, and so it just takes a little more effort to focus on being a bit more selfless. But I also, because I'm an absurdist, I also kind of. It doesn't bother me. It's like, it's fine. If your entire day is centered around how many likes you got on your Facebook post, or, if your Snapchat was good that day and if people enjoyed it, that's okay. That's fine. It's fine. The biggest thing for me is like, be happy. Just as long as you can continue. But it's hard to be happy when you're constantly focused on yourself, and because of advertising, focus on what's wrong with you, why you don't have the TV, why you don't have a better car, why you don't have better breath, why you don't save more time with, doing this instead of that. So I think it's symptomatic. Anyway, the way that we'll use advertising is that we'll get money from people to put up ads about how bad advertising is, which we'll see if the billboard companies get behind that. But and also just to have advertising that instead of saying you're not good enough, to have some advertisements that you walk down the street and they just say, literally, some of them that we've mocked up just say, and we still need the capital to do this, but just say like, you're fine. It's fine. Like, it's going fine. You don't need anything. Kate's really big on this one that is just, you have everything you need. Like, that's it. That's all it says. It's fine. And I want to combine them. It's fine. You have everything you need. But so that is the end goal, is that if I can get a platform to talk about all this stuff and then get people to get behind the idea, and, I don't think this is far off, because look at how Bernie Sanders is making money. I don't think I'm far off. That just that if you see a billboard that you like and you're like, that kind of like brightened my day a bit, that you hit a button on the app and you donate $1. And then we crowdsource the funds to keep doing that. And we don't need to eliminate advertising. I'm still a capitalist at heart. I mean, this, quote unquote meritocracy that we live in is the reason that I'm here talking to you guys right now. But just to have a little bit of advertising that is like, you're actually doing great. You know what I mean? You made the right choice on your toothbrush. Don't worry about getting a new one. That sort of deal, I
think it would be great if you just hired an advertising agency to handle that for you.
I would. I mean, I'm interested. I like Anomaly right now. We did the Shock Top ad. And I didn't talk to them about this whole thing, but I think if you get the right advertising agency and you get people to get behind the idea, then it is like a real possibility. And even if there's like 3 billboards in New York and a few in Denver and a few in Los Angeles, that's plenty. Like, the weird thing is Deadpool has done something great with the marketing, which is they've sort of been like, hey, wouldn't it be ridiculous if we fucked around with the marketing? And then they have, and people have responded really well to it. So again, a project that I'm involved in that has the right tone and that people are responding to, that's good news for me. I'm thankful.
Yeah. And you feel like it's because you've been pushing so many years, going through a lot of projects, is why you're finally landing the ones that you're connecting
Yeah,
with.
exactly. And, I mean, it's not as if I don't do some stuff that maybe is not about me. It's about even the Shock Top thing. It's like, that's me trying to do comedy on the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl audience. So if I was watching that ad, to be honest with you, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But it's not for me, but yes, Silicon Valley, Deadpool, this HBO special that you'll soon see, all of those projects seem to be the result of this unending and unrelenting work ethic that is, I've tried to be in enough things to just say to America, Dane Cook really didn't do it right when he sort of became super famous, and then he was like, I'm a movie star. And it's like, that's not how America works. They get to decide who their stars are. They even hate studios for trying to force feed us stuff. The American public will be like, no, we're not going to do that. But Kevin Hart is an example of a guy who did so much and worked so hard and was in so many different mediums. So you're asking America to trust you and be like, look, I'd like to be, and this is what I'm saying is like, I'd like to be your clown. I've worked very hard to be a good clown because you all deserve a good clown. And that's why it's so many different platforms. I have a podcast, but I'm also on television, but I'm in movies, but I do voiceover, but that's not me like, grabbing to try or clawing to be famous. Actually being famous is isolating and terrifying and ruins your relationship with your family. It's for me, it's like, if I get enough people to trust me, then I get to do what I'm about to do, which is write and be in a movie. So this movie Ex Criminals that I'm doing with DreamWorks, that is finally I'm able and I have the leverage to provide you guys with something which I hope is like one of these things like Deadpool for Ryan, which is like a great movie. Because I think once you make a great movie, a portion of the population, that's like their prized possession for the rest of their life. They're like, it's like, what's your favorite movie? And you have that movie, and the reason you have that and you know what it is immediately, and everybody does. Some people, I don't know if you guys hate this, but when you say to somebody, what's your favorite movie? I hate when they're like, oh geez, there's so many. You're just like, shut up and tell me the movie that you had the most connection to. And so that's what we're going to try and do with Ex Criminals. And then I will alienate an immense amount of people with The Nihilist, but I have a movie called The Nihilist, and it's, that's going to be right now at this point in my life. That's my offering up to America. And, I hope people like it. I think they will connect with it. I think how much you guys all will like Deadpool is, it signifies the changing in our times in terms of how we see meaning, heroism, mortality, morality, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's actually just the right time for the kind of stuff that I really want to do.
And all that led to this. But, you were bringing up, do you have directors that you'll show up for no matter what they're doing, filmmakers?
Mike Judge, yeah. There
are people like that for me.
Really.
The first time I saw a Wes Anderson film, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm going to write it out. If he has a bad one, it doesn't matter. I'm coming back. And I think that's that kind of connection that you're talking about. But I remember when you did Successful Alcoholics on...
Yeah, Woody Allen. Sorry, I keep thinking a little bit behind. That's how much press I've been doing. My great witty comments come after you've already moved on from them. But we forgave... Woody Allen married his daughter. And it's like, everyone's like, okay, just keep making movies.
Right,
like that's how important that stuff is. But I think if you have a connection to Wes Anderson as a director, then you do want him to keep making stuff, and you will suffer his missteps artistically and in general. That's okay. And it's important. But it also, sometimes, you'll make a comment and then you'll talk and then you'll realize that you didn't have anywhere to go with it. And then you talk about how you're talking about it and then you stop talking. Sorry.
Have you, do you have a favorite Woody Allen? Is there a Woody Allen movie?
Yeah, I think Annie Hall was this great. I didn't know this. Did you guys know this piece of trivia? Star Wars was the same year as Annie Hall, and Annie Hall won the Oscar. And that's not to say that Star Wars should have won an Oscar, but that was a great example of like, if you make a perfect comedy everyone is like, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Best. That's the best. This is the best one. It's the best. That's great. So I think Annie Hall for me, but then I watch Kate watch Sleeper, and then I like that movie better because
Yeah.
she's cracking up and she loves physical comedy so much. I would say, speaking of pratfalls, I would say I do a purposeful pratfall every single day just to make Kate laugh. And then I do a pratfall that wasn't on purpose, and I get hurt usually. That's
Yeah.
true also.
Well, I think because Woody brought kind of that Marx Brothers humor back, but all in one person. You know, like he attempted to bring
that's a really good point.
to bring it all in together.
Yeah, because the Marx Brothers sort of had it all. And you're right, Woody Allen was able to be Harpo and Groucho and Chico because he is this character of himself. I mean, at a certain point he started being like, well, I can't play me anymore, so I guess I'll get Jason Biggs. Can you do me? Who else here can do a great impersonation of me? Because I'm the best. But I think, and you say Marx Brothers, I'm glad that you're, a scholar of comedy also. It's like W.C. Fields, Deadpool is more like W.C. Fields than I think anybody will ever even realize or care about. But that anti-hero is really important right now because we're starting to see the sham that is this hand-me-down Christian morality. Nietzsche saw it a while ago and was like, no one will understand this, I'll be long dead, and he's right. But we're starting to sort of see the pomposity of this PC morality. And what's weird is that we keep returning to, unfortunately, this like now we can't stop ourselves from attacking everyone for something.
Mm-hmm.
We're always after each other for something. And I think that actually might be a symptom of we hate ourselves for not living up to these fake standards that we're holding one another to. So instead of taking accountability, we attack and lash out at whatever the blue plate special of who's doing everything wrong of the day. And I think we need to be easy on ourselves with regards to that also. So as people go nuts about this or that, people have good points about all these things, but they don't need to go insane about it. You're all going to die. Don't spend so much of your time on Twitter yelling about how women need equal pay. Yes, they do, absolutely. But don't be a bitch about it. Does that make sense?
No.
I know that soundbite will fuck up my career. That soundbite will fuck up my career, but don't spend your whole life bitching about this or that. Just don't do it. It's a waste of your time, and time is very important.
But I think people are very relaxed when someone else is getting attacked. It's like the zebras when they're at the water hole. If the lion's hitting another zebra, you see other zebras go, "Oh, good,
yeah, it's fine." So we're fine, right? Exactly. But yeah, I'm actually not even going to elaborate on that. That's the best zebra watering hole metaphor I've ever heard. That's very true. But yeah, exactly. And then the other terrible thing about celebrity is it's almost like you take a number once you become a celebrity and you just wait in line to get attacked.
Right.
And I wish it wasn't the case, but certain things have to be sacrificed if you're going to be a public servant, as you kind of put it. So that's fine. And I think it's unfortunate that some people are attacked with good cause. And there should be some attacks that are launched on people, but other people aren't. And then there's also just a thing of there's just Amy Schumer and I talk about this a fair amount. There's just people are mean-spirited. Some people are really mean-spirited, and so that Schadenfreude comes from when somebody is mean-spirited online. People kind of wish that they also could be mean, and so they get behind it. But I think that's okay. The biggest thing, especially for Kate and I, is you just have to also just not give a shit. It's just, and if you do give a shit, then at least for me, I'm sending the wrong message. And that's what the Critics' Choice was about, is if I had kowtowed and kind of gone out there and done a very good impression of Neil Patrick Harris as an awards show host, then I would have been sending the wrong message. When I say I do not give a shit about this, it is I do not take this seriously, then ideally that's sending the right message also.
And you would have been fine if everybody would have just said, "Oh, that sucked. What was he doing? He did the..."
Yeah, people kind of a couple interviews, people So are you so nervous? God, you must be so nervous. Christian Bale's going to be there. And I kind of said, no, I'm not. And yeah, I think if I can't get that room to like kind of loosen up and laugh along with the whole thing, then I probably shouldn't be working in Hollywood, or at least not doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I don't think I would have given a shit. And the other thing that's really lucky, and Kate and I had a long conversation about this last night, while not smoking marijuana, but just this conversation of like, we don't need Hollywood, and that is the scariest thing to Hollywood that there is when you exist in Hollywood and you don't desperately need it and need it to work and all this stuff. And I'm fortunate. The reason is because I'm a stand-up. Mm-hmm. So if you're a stand-up comic, you aren't at the mercy of the casting directors and the producers and all this stuff. And that's very powerful when I'm with a studio executive and they can feel that I don't give a shit if I'm in their movie or not, or if I'm in movies at all, or if I have anything to do with anything ever again. That's okay. Like, I really am a person who would be very happy being a dishwasher in Chinook, Kansas, because there's so much more to life than this one thing. But then all that being said, it is paramount to me, and no pun intended, although pun achieved is too hard to say. It is paramount to me to work with Warner Brothers. No, but I do think it's so important because we have such influence on such a global scale through Hollywood. So yeah, I mean, I've been joking around lately about like, I am the new Hollywood, the one that like is both irreverent and doesn't give a shit, but also is so grateful to be here and grateful to be paid for being funny. I mean, that's such a weird and wonderful American thing that people are like, God, it's so terrible. You know what? We should pay people to make us laugh.
Right.
Like, that is so funny and so gratifying. You know, also that like such a ridiculous job could be so highly prized and rewarded.
Yeah, that is amazing that when you think it's a hobby for a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know, like they're the funny guy at their office or whatever. And
I'm really no better than your funny friend at the office. I just have worked harder and chose this vocation. We also need the people at the water cooler to make the snarky remark about Daryl in accounting. You know what I mean? Like they serve an important purpose as well.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, there really is a Daryl in our accounting office here. So
is that real?
Yeah, I hope he doesn't get upset.
I just look up. He's hands against the glass, like fuck you.
Again, I've got to take this
Stop
shit.
it! Yeah, it's bad enough that I have a name that sounds like I'd be in accounting.
Well, it's a phenomenal thing. I brought this up before about saying successful alcoholics the first time online, and just thinking that was.
And I remember you mentioned that to me. Thank you. After you left, I remembered that you said how much that meant to you.
I stopped you in the hall here because I just thought it was a phenomenal piece, and also I thought it was more mature than your age at the time. I thought it was beyond your years.
Thank you, because I look back at it, of course, like you do with everything, and I'm like, boy, this dialogue is canned. Like, what the fuck was I writing? And but yeah, that's what Ex-Criminals will be like. It's like, that's my tone that I've been working on, but I had to do, there's a lot to do before I can actually bring that to a major motion picture. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the idea behind Successful Alcoholics, if you guys haven't seen it, it's online, but it's this short film that I did with Lizzie Kaplan, and Lizzie is probably going to be an Ex-Criminals, so that'll be a good like repairing of the two of us. It's kind of it's what I'm obsessed with is like the saddest stories being hilarious all the way through, and because that's kind of how I see life. It's like, it's the saddest story, but it's hysterical. And so Successful Alcoholics and Difficult Time Killing My Parents, which I don't know if you've seen that, but that was another short film. It's called I'm Having a Difficult Time Killing My Parents. So it's a really light comedy. It's like Fuller House, but before. And I think Ex-Criminals will be an actualization of that tone that thankfully you responded to. And, yeah, I mean, you know, those are the movies that I want to make, and you can't write a movie that you star in until you've done a lot of stuff in Hollywood. But luckily now, finally, I've done enough in Hollywood that Spielberg was like, all right, we'll give you a shot. And, you got to hit a home run or strike out, but don't do anything in between. That's how I felt about the Critics' Choice Awards.
But yeah, you have to also live a certain amount of life, I think, before you can
I
pull
think
off.
that's really true.
Yeah.
And I think also Ex-Criminals is not, the plot is that, like, you guys know Bonnie and Clyde, I hope. It's a Bonnie and Clyde bank robbing couple that break up a few days before their biggest job. And then they both agree not to do it because it was a job they're going to do together. And then on Thursday, they both show up with separate crews. Everybody gets arrested except for them. Yeah, having lied to each other. Everybody gets arrested except for them. And then they're headed to the Mexican border. She has the papers and the contact to get them across the border with citizenship, documentation. And then in the movie, I won't let her touch the money. So everywhere I go, I'm holding this duffel bag of like several $1 million, and she gets it wet because she bathes in the money at one point. And anyway, but the point of that movie though is, it has a hook, which is the bank robbery thing, but it is it's so much about something that we all can relate to, which is two people who love each other and want to be together more than anything else in the world, and they just can't. They just shouldn't. And they both know that, but it doesn't matter because they still, and we've all been in that relationship where we're like, we can make it work. There has to be some algorithm, some sort of equation, some way to make this work. And the truth is, there isn't, and so that's really what the movie is about. And I think that'll be good. So as you can see, it's a very sad and heavy story. But it's, it's still me with the voice that I have in my oblong body and my strange, screaming cadence and, all that. So it should be, if we can get it right, which I think we will, it might be a great movie. But you pursue that. Coming back to Woody Allen, I say Ryan Reynolds really did it. He made this is the perfect execution of him as a comedian, an actor, everything. And Woody Allen has said, he's like, I want to make a great movie. I want to make a perfect movie. And he's like, and that's why I keep making movies, because I never have. Yeah. And so that's interesting too. I mean, that he makes Annie Hall and he's like, nope.
Didn't happen.
No, I'm going to try. Okay, let's try. Is it Midnight in Paris? Is it about this? Is it this or that? And I think, unfortunately, I suspect I'll be in the same boat, that as soon as I make what other people consider to be a great movie, I'll be like, okay, well, no, let's try this. And that's good because it'll propel me forward to keep making stuff, but it's not great for my personal life. You ideally would make something great and then kind of not fade away, but then just recede into stand-up comedy and let that be the way that I talk with and make audiences laugh. But film has such permanence. And my whole mission statement is to make as many people laugh as possible, hence Transformers 4. Somehow I'm driven by the idea that there's someone in China like, that guy screamed a lot. He was funny. I liked that. But, I have to do film to reach markets that I can't physically go to. And also, I need to create content that you can return to when I'm not there. So stand-up isn't enough, essentially.
Well, Deadpool this weekend, everybody. You got to go out and see it. And
you can tell from my, it's going to be hilarious from this incredibly serious and grave interview.
Well,
I want to see that movie. He talks about death a lot. What is going on? But yeah, it is a great movie, and I think that it's a movie that we need right now. Because again, if you love it or hate it, it's going to open up this genre that's here to stay, in my opinion, unfortunately, but it is here to stay. And so we hopefully can see, I want Wolverine to be R-rated. I want us to make other movies. They should make movies of lesser known, no offense to Paul Rudd, who is a friend, they should make movies that are lesser known characters, but are not PG-13, that are not in that realm. And I think we'll see that. And that was my big decision, you guys, I was like, I'd rather be a part of bringing you all Deadpool instead of bringing you a 50th R-rated wedding movie. It's like, we've done that. It's happened. We did it. Let's do the next thing. Let's do something else. So I'm hoping that people like Deadpool, but also respond to it and it's successful, because it will spur, hopefully not derivatives of it, but it will hopefully get Hollywood to be like, all right, let's take some more risks. They pay off. They certainly do.
Dude, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you, man.
Here today.
I appreciate you.
And
it was really fun.
It was really fun for me too, and I love the fact that you showed up for a show called Unmasked wearing a mask on your shirt. That's pretty amazing. TJ Miller, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
That was fucking great, dude.